It was the Central Rebels winning the coin toss, but choosing to defer for the second half. So Potosi's offense will be on the field first. Central Rebels, if you're watching on J98 Web TV tonight at MyMoInfo.com, you'll see that they are wearing their red uniforms. They've got the snow camouflage numbers and letters, or actually just numbers, on the fronts and backs of those red uniforms. The Potosi Trojans, they've got the purple pants on with the white tops, gold numbers and letters, and the gold helmet. Central will be kicking off from left to right as you look on from J98 Web TV. It'll be Potosi returning from right to left. And typically, it's going to be Jake Bridges doing the kicking for the Central Rebels. Looks like that is the case right now as well. And typically for Potosi, it's Austin Cooley back to return along with Blaine Riddle. And sometimes Portell returns some kickoffs. But right now I see Blaine Riddle back there and Austin Cooley's making his way back there as well. 12 minutes has been put up on the clock. And this 4-0 versus 4-0 matchup and two of the best teams in our area is just about ready to get underway. Jake Bridges teeing up the football right now. Garrett, any final thoughts before we kick this one off?
No, I'm excited to see two 4-0 teams go at it tonight. Can't ask for better weather. It's been real hot in the first couple weeks for sure, but, tonight, a great night for some high school football.
Austin Cooley is the deep man ready to return, and the two up men that are right there next to him are Blaine Riddle and Jared Portell. Any one of those three could get this football. It's a low spiraling kickoff that's going to bounce and be picked up at the 10-yard line by Austin Cooley. He's going to try the middle of the field and cut to the outside. He's got some speed to burn, and it's about a 14-yard return to the 24-yard line, and that's where Potosi's offense will take over. That opening kickoff brought to you by American Family Insurance agent Bill Bess in Park Hills, committed to making the big play for their customer. Biggest game of the year to this point, and the Potosi Trojans see their offense on the field first. It should be interesting to see what they come out with. They will start Austin Cooley at wide receiver rather than in the backfield. He's a guy that can kind of do everything for you on the field. These starting lineups are brought to you by Culligan Water in Leadington. Culligan, better water, pure and simple. Just call 573-431-3016. Cooley is lined up wide left in an I formation set for Jordan Huerta, the junior quarterback. He takes the snap, turns around, hands it off. This goes to Blaine Riddle. Jump cut in the middle of the field. Gets across the 25 to about the 26, maybe the 27. About a 3-yard carry for Blaine Riddle. 123 carries for 570 yards on the season for Blaine. 3 touchdowns. He averages 4.6 yards per carry, and his first tote does go for 3 yards. Second down and 7 for the Potosi offense. Ball spotted at the 27-yard line. Drive started at the 24, looking to cover 76 yards on this opening drive. Dusty Douglas is the fullback. John Thompson is the starting opposite wide receiver, other side of the field from Austin Cooley. There's the snap, and the handoff goes to the fullback this time, and Dusty Douglas gets up close to the 30-yard line, about the 29, a 2 to 3 yard carry, setting up third down and medium. Along that offensive line, starting at tight end, Chandler Franklin. He's a junior with 3 catches, 62 yards. Left tackle is Colby Boyer, 6', 220-pounder. Wes Dockery at guard, 5'10", 190. Jacob Neff at center, 5'8", 205 pounds. Zach Drennan at right guard, 6', 207. And Caleb Kurtois goes 6'1", 220. So that was a 3-yard carry by Dusty Douglas. And it's third down and 4. We'll get you the Central defense after this snap. From under center, Jordan Huerta in an I formation set, takes the snap, hands it off left side, and Blaine Riddle goes nowhere, bottled up at the line of scrimmage, and the Central defense comes up with a big stop. Brandon Mayberry on the tackle. He's a starting All-State defensive end. Colin Bess on the other side is an All-State defensive end. Dakota Pope and Dustin Saunders are the D tackles. Logan Comfort, Drew Harlow, Luke Mannion in the linebacking core. Hunter Strange, Jake Bridges, Braden Mannion, and Tristan Pyatt make up an outstanding secondary. And after Riddle goes backwards for a negative 1-yard carry, it's 4th down and 5 for Potosi, and they'll have to punt. Here comes the kick, and Wes Dockery gets off an end-over-end kick that bounces at the 35, back to the 30, and it's going to go down to the 20-yard line and all the way to the 15-yard line. Ends up being a great punt by Dockery. Braden Mannion was back to return. He let that one go, but you're talking about a 60-plus yard punt right there from Wes Dockery, and Potosi's going to start up, or Central's going to start backed up a little bit. So good defensive first drive there by the Central Rebels.
Yeah, it was. 3 runs, stopped them short of the line almost every time, and see if this game comes down to a defensive game. With two offenses that have put a lot of points on the board. The coaches are going to look for the defense to step up big tonight for sure.
First down and 10 from the 15 on their own side of the field. Central Rebels potent offense takes the field, led by Jake Bridges, 40 of 62 passing, 807 yards, 8 touchdowns. 0 interceptions, 66% passing on the season for this junior quarterback. He takes the snap, hands off to his fullback, and that fullback is Logan Comfort, and he falls forward for a gain of a couple. Also in the backfield tonight will be Brandon Mayberry, 28 carries, 342 yards, and 3 touchdowns, 12.2 yards per pop. Braden Mannion is the starting wide receiver. He's had a great year with 405 yards and 5 touchdowns. Hunter Strange is the other receiver. Brandon Caldwell is a hybrid type that can play receiver. He can also play in the backfield. I'll give you their offensive line in a sec. But first, 2nd down and 7 after Comfort's 3-yard carry. The shotgun snap to Bridges with an empty backfield. This time he runs up the middle, and he's met at the line of scrimmage and maybe picks up a yard. There's also a flag on the play, and while they get that sorted out, the rest of the Central offensive line that averages 228 pounds across. Colin Bess at left tackle, 6'6", 225. Russell Harrington at guard, 6'1", 233. Dakota Pope is the senior center, 6'1", 220. Colby Buckley is a guard, number 54, 6'1", 206. And Brandon Richardson is a tackle, 6'4", 259 pounds. Referees still discussing the flag. This will give me a chance to give you the Potosi starting defense. Waylon DeClue, defensive end, 7 sacks on the year already. He's been outstanding. Jacob Neff at D tackle, Caleb Kurtois at the other tackle, and Dylan Wright is a sophomore defensive end on the other side of DeClue. Central is being backed up. So the run by Bridges, not going to count, and it's a 5-yard penalty against the Rebels. Potosi accepts, 2nd down and 12 to go. Call it 13. Linebacking core, Zach Drennan, Dusty Douglas, Jordan Huerta, Jake Coleman. That's a good linebacking core. And a run up the middle goes nowhere, snuffed out by the defensive line, the interior defensive line of the Potosi Trojans. And Jake Bridges loses a yard to 2 yards, and it's now 3rd down and 15 to go. This stout Potosi defense flexing the muscle early on.
Yeah, you see both defenses playing well. Both coaches kind of be conservative on these first opening drives, keeping the ball on the ground. But don't get used to that. I'm sure they'll start opening up the playbook soon.
Secondary, Austin Cooley and Chandler Franklin as the corners, Blaine Riddle as the safety, and he will come up and hit you. 3rd down and 15 for Central's offense, and they'll go with one back in the backfield and twins left, twins to the right. Austin Cooley lined up on Hunter Strange on this side of the field. Not the matchup I wanted to see. I wanted to see him on Mannion, but I'm sure we'll get that at some point tonight. Bridges takes the snap. He's chased out of the pocket and throws it deep down the right side. One-on-one coverage. Cooley goes up and knocks the ball out of the hands of Hunter Strange. As a matter of fact, Cooley intercepted it. Cooley wins that battle, and Potosi takes over at the 48-yard line on their side of the field.
Yeah, this is the classic jump ball. Whoever jumps the highest and wants it more comes up with it, and you've seen Austin Cooley showing the athleticism there and taking that ball away from him.
Hunter Strange, 6'3", 180 pounds. You like him in a jump ball situation. Cooley has got the speed, but he's also got some good size at 6'1", 185, and Cooley out-leaped Hunter Strange for the football, and Potosi makes the first big play of this game, and they'll start in good field position at their own 48-yard line. What an athletic play by Austin Cooley, and we knew he'd make some plays tonight, and he probably has a few more left in the tank. Huerta brings his team back to the line right at midfield. Ball at the 48. 8 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. First quarter on Central's homecoming, and a matchup of 4-0 teams on J98 and J98 Web TV tonight. One receiver right, one receiver to the left. Chandler Franklin is in there as a wide receiver. Actually, that's Dylan King. The quarterback runs a read option play, gets to the outside, but gets upended. Good pursuit by Brandon Mayberry and Hunter Strange there, and Jordan Huerta is able to just pick up about 2 yards. So Huerta's first carry is able to go forward and make it 2nd down and 7 yards to go, or closer to 8 yards. Ball spotted just on the other side of midfield between the 50 and the 49-yard line. Jordan Huerta, 16 of 30 passing this season, 420 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a 53% completion percentage. He's done well in an offense in which he doesn't have to do a whole lot. He turns around and hands the ball off to Blaine Riddle and Austin Cooley quite a bit, but Huerta can make some plays. They'll go with an I formation set. They'll hand it off to Blaine Riddle, the deep back, and Riddle's got a hole, bounces out to the outside, nearly picks up a first down. He's about a couple yards shy, gets inside the 45 to the 43. A 6-yard carry for Blaine Riddle, which was his best of the night.
You're going to see Potosi try to keep the ball on the ground and keep that possession and keep that clock rolling. They don't want to give it back to the Central Rebel offense. So you're going to see him, run that play clock down. You can see the quarterback running to the sideline, getting plays in. They want to keep this ball on the ground and keep getting first downs.
By the way, that interception thrown by Jake Bridges on that last possession, his first of the season. Austin Cooley, the man who made it happen. One receiver right, one receiver to the left, and now split backs in the backfield as Huerta comes under center, fakes the handoff and runs to the right side and has a first down. Good play fake by Jordan Huerta. Gets across the 40 to the 39. It's a 4-yard carry by the Potosi quarterback, and I like that fake.
Yeah, it was. Keeping the defense honest. Don't pull the ball back real quick and let them see what you're doing. But a good fake and bouncing that ball to the outside for the first down.
When Potosi has gone two receivers, they've lined up Dylan King wide to the left, and I believe it's John Thompson who's wide on the far side, and they're putting Austin Cooley in the backfield along with Blaine Riddle, and that's a deadly tandem back there with your split back set that you're going to run. Ball is at the 38-yard line, and again, two receivers. There's the snap. Handoff goes to Riddle, and Riddle plants his foot in the ground and gets the ball to the 36, a pickup of 2 to 3 yards by Blaine.
A good tackle on the defense there. I think if he beats that guy, he gets probably 3 or 4 more yards. Central's got to hold tight here with Potosi driving on them.
Second down and 8 ball at the 36, and like we suspected and like Garrett just mentioned, Potosi just taking their time to get these plays in. We're going to run that play clock probably down under 10, maybe closer to 5 seconds before they snap it, and I like that strategy tonight against an offense that's going to move the ball in a hurry on the other side. One receiver right, one receiver left. Huerta takes the snap, hands it off to Riddle again. This time it is Brandon Mayberry and company who's able to snuff that one out before it can get much traction. No gain on the play. Also, Saunders was the one who really made the play and wrapped up Blaine Riddle for no gain and almost a loss. Third down and a long 8 to go. And this is a big situation for Potosi. You got the ball in great field position to start your drive. Now you got to convert on 3rd and long to keep it going.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting with these longer third down drives. See what Coach Casey wants to do as far as putting the ball in the air or keep it in the ground and let your 2 backs go to work.
Ball's at the 36, 2 receivers, and Cooley remains in the backfield alongside Blaine Riddle. There's the snap, and they'll run the read option, and Jordan Huerta can't pitch it in time. He gets sacked by Drew Harlow all the way back to the 44-yard line. Forward progress is stopped, though, at the 41-yard line. 4th down and long for Potosi, and Drew Harlow, man, he is a wrecking ball coming from that middle linebacker spot.
Yeah, he is. He's a load to handle, and definitely with all these Central Rebel defensive guys have really flew to the football and pursued really well.
Wes Dockery, the punter for the Potosi Trojans, his last punt would pin Central deep, and he'll try to do it again. A high snap to him. He kicks it from the 49. Gets this one high in the air, end over end, and Braden Mannion's going to let it bounce inside the 10-yard line. Potosi's going to down it down at the 5-yard line. Braden Mannion picked it up and got to the 7-yard line. And that's actually a heads-up play by Mannion because you don't want to touch the ball in traffic unless the other team touches it first. But as long as Potosi touches that first, you can advance that ball no matter what happens. You could even fumble it on down the line, and you're still going to get the ball where they touched it.
Right, that's a smart play. You never know. Might break a tackle there and turn something into a touchdown. So, heads-up play, and see if Central opens up the playbook down here deep in their own end zone.
Not a whole lot of players would have had that wherewithal to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to advance this football, but he did there. And now if Potosi hadn't touched that, he should have stayed away, but he made the right call there. Central has a 1st down and 10 at their own 7-yard line with 4:27 left to play. First quarter, a 2-receiver set, one to the left, one to the right, and Central goes back to I formation as Jake Bridges comes under center, takes the snap, and there's a skirmish in the middle of the field, and they're acting like the ball might have came out. I don't know, but didn't see who got the football, but it was a run right to the left side and not much on the carry, if anything. 2nd down and about 10. Jake Bridges kept it after the fake handoff and went nowhere.
And Potosi's defense doing a great job flying to the football, not letting any fakes get by them, and playing solid defense right now.
Ball just inside the 10-yard line of the Park Hills Central Rebels, and a 2nd down and a long 9 or short 10. I formation set. Brandon Mayberry is the deep back. There's the snap. They'll hand it off to Mayberry, left side. He starts crouching behind his blockers and looks for a hole. He gets across the 10, close to the 15. About the 14-yard line is where they'll spot him for a gain of 4 by Brandon on his first carry of the night. But it'll be 3rd down and long, and this Potosi defense, who has only given up 38 points on the young season so far. They've looked good on the first couple of drives here. Now they're going to try to make another 3rd down and 6 stop with the ball at the 13 of Central. Defensive line for Potosi and the linebackers have been outstanding, plus a pretty good secondary with Cooley and Riddle back there. 3rd down and 6 from the 13. Back to the shotgun. Jake Bridges. 3 receivers bunched to the right side. They take the snap and hand it off to Braden Mannion. They try to get him in space, but he's only able to pick up a yard before he's tackled from behind. Good pursuit by the Potosi defense. We'll see a Central punt. Braden Mannion came into this game with just 6 carries, but they haven't really needed to hand off the ball to him a whole lot. 67 yards, so he's done quite a bit with those carries. But that time, only able to get 2 yards officially. And Central ready to punt it away on 4th and 4. Back to return. Austin Cooley, he waits for it at the 40-yard line. We watched Devin Hester last night just go off on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Austin Cooley has that kind of capability. Here's a wobbler that is fielded by actually Chandler Franklin at the 45-yard line. He gets to the 50 for a 5-yard return. So not Cooley back to return. It was Chandler Franklin, 22, not 32. But midfield, again, is where Potosi takes over. They started last drive at the 48. Got a first down, ended up having to punt. We'll see how this drive kind of shakes out for them. But so far in the early goings of this one, and it really hurt Perryville last week in the J98 game of the week, field position is belonging to the Potosi Trojans. That goes a long way in a football game.
Yeah, it does, especially with a team trying to keep the ball on the ground and grind out yards and get first downs. But as you can see, you got a kind of sort of a boxing match here. Both teams trying to feel each other out, see how the defense is playing the run, and it's definitely a field job right now for both teams.
Looks like Austin Cooley's going to line up behind the right tackle on the far side of the field. He'll act as a blocker for Blaine Riddle, who gets the carry and gets back across the 50 up to the 47-yard line. That's a 3-yard carry for Blaine Riddle. Blaine only averages 4.6 yards per carry. He doesn't have those monster average numbers that some of the other backs have, but he also carries the ball over 30 times per game. And if you want an example of a workhorse running back, look no further than Blaine Riddle.
Yeah, no doubt. And he never takes plays off. You always see him running the ball hard, no matter if the hole's closed up or not. He's going to try to run through somebody and get the extra yard.
This time it's Austin Cooley lined up in the slot to the left side of the formation. And Cooley goes in motion from left to right. There's the snap, and we might have an illegal movement on the Potosi offensive front. We'll see. The play was blown dead before it got off the ground. It is on Potosi. We've seen a 5-yard penalty go against Central in this game. This is the first penalty against the Potosi Trojans so far in the game. It is a procedure penalty against Potosi. So each team has committed one penalty for 5 yards. But that makes a 2nd down and 7, a 2nd down and 12, and it's back over to the Potosi side of the field. A lot of the action has been right in the middle of the football field so far. That was where Austin Cooley made his interception on defense. A minute 40 remains in the first quarter of this one. This could be a game that goes by pretty quickly. Potosi has their way in this one. They want the clock to kind of keep going like this, and they want to limit Central's possessions offensively. They'll run twins to the left here with a single back in the backfield. Huerta backs up to a pistol set. And they put Coley in motion again. There's the snap. They run a play-action pass. Jordan Huerta drops back, fires to the right side, and the ball is intercepted at midfield by Braden Mannion. He was on his back when he made that pick, and he comes off and high-fives everybody, and that might not have been Mannion. That was actually 16 for Central. Luke Mannion on the interception, underneath coverage, and that ball hit him right in the belly.
It looked like they were going to run the same play, handing it off to Cooley on that jet sweep, but instead they on the second play they faked it. Was trying to throw a little out pass and just way underthrown, and fell right into the hands of the defense.
So again, it was Luke Mannion, the 5'9", 140-pound linebacker. He's a sophomore, and those Mannions, they make plays. First down and 10, and for the first time, Central winning the field position battle with a minute 14 left to go in this first quarter. Look out, Potosi's defense. Central has got some room to operate with the football. One receiver to the left side, one receiver out to the right side. And those receivers are Mannion and Strange. Strange is the receiver on the near side of the formation. It is an I formation set. There's the snap, hand off to the deep back. Brandon Mayberry gets upended across the 50 to the 48-yard line. And just a gain of 2 yards for Brandon Mayberry. So far, the Potosi defense has battled up the Central running game.
Yeah, both defenses have stopped the run really well. You see, both teams trying to run smash mouth football, but both defenses stepping up and meeting the challenge head on.
For the first time now, Potosi's defense has their back against the wall a bit. One receiver right, one receiver left, and again, two backs in the backfield in the I formation. Straight drop back for Bridges. He throws out to the right side, and it's in and out of the hands of Hunter Strange. And Strange has had two passes come his way, and it hasn't worked out well for Central. That one right through the hands. Probably should have been a catch. Incomplete. Bridges 0 for 2 to start the game passing with a pick. And a 3rd down and 8 coming here with 40 seconds on the clock still in the first quarter. As this game goes along, Potosi is both teams are 4-0, but Potosi's still a considerable underdog here. If Potosi's defense continues to stifle Central, that confidence is going to continue to build for them. So this is a big 3rd down. 3rd down and 8 from the Potosi 48-yard line. Trips to the right, one receiver left. A high shotgun snap to Bridges. Bridges just has to run up the middle. Oh, stiff arms a man and gets first down. Back to the outside. And across the 40-yard line to the 38 before eventually being brought down by Chandler Franklin. That stiff arm after about 5 yards really broke that open for him. First down, Central.
Yeah, it was, and you usually don't see quarterbacks run like that, but Jeff Bridges is a big-time athlete and made a few guys miss there, and that's what they're going to need. You got a good running back in Maybury and Harlow, and the quarterback can surprise the defense by using his feet as well.
Mannion is the receiver to the left, Strange the receiver to the right. That was a 10-yard carry, and this will be the final play, most likely, of the first quarter with no score. There's the snap from the I formation set, and a run goes to Brandon Mayberry this time, and it might have been Harlow, actually, who carries the ball up to the 31. It is Harlow, giving forward progress right at the 30-yard line. And it was an 8-yard carry for Drew Harlow. And that is the end of the first quarter. So a good battle in this first between Potosi and Central, but Central has it going now with a big third down conversion just 2 plays ago. No score from Central High School. We're back in a minute. It's the game of the week on G98.
You have a choice when renting equipment. Choose Larry Heisel. Heisel Rentals. 2 Heisels, 2 separate businesses. Heisel Rentals would like to be the rental company you choose. While some have known there was a difference, others still don't know that Larry Heisel Rentals is independently owned from any other rental company with the same last name. For Larry, call 573-779-1500. They hope to earn your business, and you'll notice a difference. That number again for Larry Heisel Rentals, 573-779-1500.
Kerry Buckley Towing and Recovery in Park Hills at 431-2117 or 756-4563 offers 24-hour towing and wrecker service. Kerry Buckley and his employees pride themselves on providing quick and reliable towing, winching, lockouts, jump starts, and roadside service for cars and trucks, as well as towing and wreck recovery for tractor trailers. From big to small, Kerry Buckley Towing and Recovery does it all. Call 431-2117 or 756-4563 for dependable 24-hour service from Kerry Buckley Towing.
The game of the week tonight is between Potosi and Central. We're on J98 Web TV as well. Central now has a 2nd down and 2 at the Potosi 30-yard line as the teams change sides of the field. It's now Central working right to left. When you look on at MIMOinfo.com, it's Braden Mannion lined up as a receiver to the left side, Hunter Strange to the right side, 2nd down and short. They call it 2nd and 2, but it's closer to 2nd down and 3. Play action pass, a deep bomb down the right side of the field. A diving effort is knocked away. Incomplete. Looking for Hunter Strange again, but Potosi doing a good job on the outside with those receivers. Incomplete.
Yeah, it was great defense on the defensive back for Potosi, cutting in front of Strange there and knocking that ball out of the air.
On the other side of the field, looks like that was Chandler Franklin, who's done a nice job defensively. Ball still at the 30, and a good time there to run your play action on 2nd down and 2. You don't get it, now you can come back and pound the football on 3rd down and short, and I bet that's what Central does. Logan Comfort and Drew Harlow are the backs. Comfort, the fullback, and Harlow, who's got a fullback build, will be the deep back. There's the snap and the handoff. It goes to Harlow. Tries to get outside. Nuh-uh. Going nowhere. A Crown Collision Center collision right there. Waylon DeClue, and he's always around the football. 4th down, and should be interesting. Let's see if Central goes for it. I bet they might here.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me being this far on the other side of the 50. They throw a pass up in the end zone or whatever, and it comes down incomplete or gets intercepted. It's just as good as a punt.
4th down, 4 yards to go. Ball back at the 31-yard line between the 31 and 32. Braden Mannion's going to line up as quarterback, it looks like. Or no, he's going to line up in the backfield. Jake Bridges is the quarterback. There's the snap. They pitch it to Braden Mannion, and Mannion is going to get close to a 1st down. He eventually gets brought down, but did the ball come out? No, it did not. The ball gets inside the 30 to around the 28, and they're going to ask for a measurement. That's going to be close. Braden Mannion, I like the play call there. Try to get the ball into the hands of your best player offensively, see what he can do, and he got close to a 1st down. It's going to come down to a measurement, Garrett.
Yeah, and you want to put the ball in your playmaker's hands, and especially when he's got his momentum moving, to this near sideline, trying to get around the edge, and we'll see how close he is or if he got it.
He needed the 27, and the nose of the football is right on that 27 over here on the near side hash, and it's a 1st down by the length of the football. 1st down, Central Rebels. It's a 4-yard carry by Braden Mannion. His 2nd carry of the game, give him 6 yards. Haven't been too many outstanding plays in this game, just kind of a few yards and a cloud of dust here and there, but Central's the closest to scoring first in this one with the ball at the 27-yard line. 11 minutes, 10 seconds left to go first half. Hunter Strange and Braden Mannion lined up on the right side as wide receivers, part of twins to the right. Tristan Pyatt, or rather that's Caldwell. Brandon Caldwell is a receiver to the near side, along with Logan Comfort in a 4-wide set. It's Jake Bridges dropping back to pass. He steps up over the middle and throws a late throw over the middle, but it is caught. And that's right at the sticks for a first down. Good catch by the aforementioned Caldwell. Should be a chain mover right there, pretty close to it. It is 11-yard catch by Caldwell. And that's the first completion today by Jake Bridges.
Yeah, you can see Bridges went to his second and third receivers, and the offensive line gave him plenty of time to do that, and came up with Caldwell over the middle.
Mannion wide left, Strange wide right, back to the eye, and there's the snap, there's the handoff. This goes to Comfort. He's inside the 15-yard line, which is the line of scrimmage, down around the 14 or 13. Just a couple by Logan Comfort. So we've seen 5 different Central Rebels carry the football in this first half so far, and that's nothing new with these guys. They've got so many they can run in and out of there. Second down and about 8 to go. The ball 13-yard line of Potosi. This drive started right at midfield. It's a potential big drive in the game, brought to you by ProCare Automotive and Bonterre if they can punch it in. Mannion wide left, Strange wide right. Isolated on both sides over there. Potosi showing blitz. There's the snap. They'll hand it off to Comfort again, and Comfort pushes the pile closer to the 10, but not much, a yard, maybe 2. 3 carries for Logan, and it's going to make it third down and medium here. Central, you can tell, though, they're trying to set up this big passing play downfield. And we're going to see it eventually. We've seen it a lot with Strange, but not a whole lot of deep passes to Braden Mannion, but you know it's coming.
Right, you got 2 athletes in Bridges and Mannion, and they're just too good not to let them do their thing.
It's Cooley on Mannion on the near side. Chandler Franklin is on Strange on the far side. Jake Bridges comes to the line on 3rd down and 6, I formation. Logan Comfort and Brandon Mayberry are the backs. It's a straight rollout drop back here for Jake Bridges. Out of the pocket he goes, fires over the middle, and that pass is caught. And that was Braden Mannion coming back to the football and getting the ball inside the 5-yard line. That's a 7-yard completion. And it should be enough for a first down again. And that sound means we have an update ready to go from that St. Genevieve at Fredericktown game, and we'll get to that as soon as this drive comes to an end. Our first update tonight from St. Genevieve, Fredericktown versus St. Gen, and another battle inside this conference. 9 minutes, 10 seconds to go. First half, first down and goal from the 5-yard line for Central. They'll throw a jumbo package in there with 3 backs in the backfield. They are Comfort, Harlow, and Mayberry. Mayberry's the deep back. There's the snap. They hand it off up the middle, and this went to Harlow. He pushes it inside the 5, down close to the 1-yard line, and Central is knocking on the door to score first in quarter number 2.
You see Central kind of getting in a rhythm here with their offense, getting plays in quick, hitting quick hitters up the middle with Harlow and Comfort, and spreading them out on the outside with Mannion and Strange.
Second down and goal from the 2-yard line. Comfort, Harlow are the backs closest to the quarterback. There's the snap. There's the handoff. This goes to Mayberry. Mayberry tries the left side, puts his shoulder pads down, breaks the plane for the touchdown. Rebels strike first on a 50-yard drive. A 2-yard run by Mayberry, and it's his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. 6-0 Rebels.
And Central kind of taking a page out of Potosi's game plan. Potosi wants to grind out yards and punch it in the end zone late. Central doing the same thing with a 50-yard drive here.
Well, Jake Bridges out to kick the extra point. 8 minutes and 27 seconds left to go. First half action. After this extra point goes through, we'll get you that update from Greg Armbruster out in St. Gen. Bridges is going to get the extra point block, so it stays 6-0 with 8:27 to go. Second quarter here on J98 and J98 Web TV. And now we go out to Greg in St. Genevieve. What's going on out there?
1 quarter already in the books at St. Genevieve High School tonight as the Dragons are hosting the Fredericktown Blackcats, and we remain scoreless. Each team has exchanged possessions and no scores just yet. St. Genevieve's opening possession, they drove it all the way down to the 20, but on a 4th and 1, unable to convert. Fredericktown has had 2 possessions themselves, also unable to get any points out of that. We'll start the second quarter in just a few moments. St. Genevieve deep in their own territory, started on the 7. 1 play already. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 4 as we'll open up the second quarter. More to come on Regional Radio.
Thank you very much, Greg Armbruster. So no score there. They just got a score in this game. It was Brandon Mayberry with a 2-yard touchdown run, making it 6-0 Central. On the Rebels' homecoming, 8:27 left to go in quarter number 2 at the home of the Rebels. That was a 50-yard scoring drive. Extra point was no good. The score 6-0. Central on top. And the big drive in the game so far brought to you by ProCare Automotive in Bonterre. So Garrett, Central's offense maybe starting to figure some things out against a good Potosi defense.
Yeah, they just looked a whole lot smoother. Guys lining up quick and with Bridges in the backfield making plays with his feet and arm and then run the power run, they're going to be tough to stop.
And a short field certainly helps as well. It's a low line drive kick, angled to the far sideline, picked up at the 25-yard line and returned across the 30 to about the 33. Decent field position for Potosi. Let's see if their offense can't get it going. They've been feeding the rock to Blaine Riddle with not a whole lot of success so far. Austin Cooley still does not have a carry or a catch in this game, and you know that's going to have to change as this game goes forward.
Yeah, and you know, with the confidence of Huerta coming back after that interception, he needs to clear his head and try to make plays as best as he can.
Looks like we have an entered Central Rebel down on the field right now, near side, down at about the 37-yard line. Can't see who that is. We will take this time to thank those sponsors that allowed us to carry the updates tonight. They were Curtin Livestock in Fredericktown and St. Genevieve Care Center of St. Genevieve. Some other sponsors tonight include ProCare Automotive in Bonne Terre, Earth Mother Health Foods, Hood's Discount Home Center in Farmington, Buckley Towing in Park Hills, Midwest Orthopedic Group in Farmington, American Family Insurance Agent Bill Best in Park Hills, County Do-It Center in St. Genevieve. Also, you can check the scoreboard tonight and any Friday night at MIMOinfo.com. Jared Lucas is in charge of that. Does a phenomenal job of keeping those updated. And you'll see now that Central leads Potosi in the second quarter of this one, 6-0. Also on that scoreboard over on AM 800 KRVI, Sykeston over Farmington, 8-3. That's a second quarter score. Looks like Herculaneum has a 7-0 lead over St. Pius in the second. Jefferson leads Crystal City 7-6 in the second quarter. Valley Catholic 36-0 in the first quarter over Grandview. Valley celebrating homecoming in a big way tonight. Duchesne leads North County 10-0 in the first quarter. No score reported between Perryville and Afton. Windsor leads DeSoto in DeSoto's homecoming, 7-0 first quarter score. No score between St. Vincent and Lift for Life. Fox leads Seckman in the school district rivalry, 7-0. That's first quarter. Northwest leads Oakville 7-6. That, too, is a first quarter score. Injured player for Central's being helped off the field, and that's Luke Mannion, it looks like. Number 16, yes, it is. And he made an interception in this game already, and looks like he's going to be carried off the field. Doesn't look like he can put a whole lot of weight on that injured, look to be right leg.
Yeah, right leg or right hip, one of the two. Definitely favoring it quite a bit.
So Jordan Huerta's 0 for 1 with an interception passing for Potosi. Jake Bridges has thrown his first interception of the season, and he is 2 for 5 now for 18 yards in that one interception. But that scoring drive, it was all on the ground, or for the most part on the ground, with a couple of big third down conversions. One running by Jake Bridges, the other one passing by Jake Bridges. Huerta brings his team back to the line, and a pistol set. There's the snap, and a handoff goes to the left side, and the running back's going to get across the 35 to the 36, and a pickup of 4 yards. It's Blaine Riddle on his fourth carry of the game. Right now he's averaging 3 yards per carry, 4 carries for 12 yards. Excuse me, I looked at the wrong number there. Riddle's 5th carry of the game, so he's up to 18 rushing yards on 6 carries. Still no runs for Austin Cooley in the game. Second down and 6, ball at the 36. Just a 6-0 game, 7:50 left to go second quarter. 36-yard line up Potosi is where the ball is right now. John Thompson is the lone receiver on the near side. Cooley is the receiver on the far side. From the pistol set, they'll take the snap and they'll run an end around to the near side. This is Chandler Franklin running with the football, but Central was ready for it. Maybe a yard or two closer to the 40-yard line. I'd say that's a 2-yard carry by Chandler Franklin. It was a well-designed play and a well-executed play as far as faking and handing off by the quarterback, but Central was on top of that for minimal gain.
Yeah, it was good pursuit by the backside of the Central Rebel defense, and the play took just a tad bit long to develop and kind of gave the defense a clear sight to see the handoff.
2 yards on the carry for Chandler Franklin. So he makes the 4th different Potosi Trojan to carry the football. Still, none of them have been Austin Cooley. Under 7 minutes to play in the second. 3rd down and 4. Another big conversion here for Potosi if they can get it. There's the snap. They'll hand it off to Blaine. Blaine plants the foot and gets across the 40 to the 41. It's a pickup of 2 to 3 yards, but still short of a first down by at least a yard. Yeah, just 2 yards on the carry for Blaine Riddle. So now 4th and short. And even though it's close to being a first down, I still think you got to punt it here and play the field position game, and that looks to be the case.
Yeah, you do. It's too early in the game to take shots this far away from your own end zone, so I think it's a smart play by Coach Casey.
I know Jordan Huerta is not Jake Bridges as far as accuracy goes, but are you a little bit surprised to see Potosi not really attempting too many passes? They've only thrown 1.
Yeah, and it could be something, too, trying to establish the run game to give him time, give him more time later on in the game to open up that pass playbook. But, with a good back with Mannion and Cooley, you gotta give them the first option early in the game for sure.
A 31-yard punt here by Wes Dockery. Braden Mannion is going to fair catch it at the 29-yard line, and Central starts relatively backed up on this next possession. Their last drive was a 50-yard scoring drive, and a big drive in the game brought to you by ProCare Automotive and Bonne Terre. They've also thrown an interception today, and they've had to punt today. So overall, Potosi's defense holding up pretty well, but now that Central's tasted the end zone, let's see how this drive unfolds. From the shotgun, it's Jake Bridges with Brandon Mayberry flanking him to his left and a 4-wide receiver set. 3-step drop and a curl route over to the far side of the field. The pass is caught right at the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 6 yards. Hunter Strange makes his first grab of the ball game.
Good pass there. The Central Rebels get him out in the flat and get him open and putting a good ball on him, and defense just a tad bit late on that. Almost was there to break it up.
Another update ready to come in from Greg Armbruster at the St. Genevieve Fredericktown game. That's 3 straight completions by Jake Bridges. He's up to 24 yards passing now after his first 3 fell incomplete or were intercepted. Second down, 4 yards to go for Central. Ball at the 35 on the Rebel side of the field. 1 receiver on each side of the formation and a shotgun set for Jake Bridges. Brandon Mayberry remains the back. There's the snap, and Bridges on a design quarterback keeper is going to get upended across the 35 to the 36. A gain of 1 yard for Jake. On his 4th carry, give him 9 yards.
Good tackle there by Zach Drennan, wrapping him up and taking him down, keep him short of that first down marker.
3rd down and about 3 to go, or a long 2, as this clock continues to just drip away on the Central Rebel homecoming tonight. 2 teams playing some ball control offense in a 6-0 low-scoring game between 2 of the better teams in the area. Now Central spreads it out and goes 4 wide. 2 receivers are lined up in a stack on the near side of the formation. Looks to be the same on the opposite side of the formation. There's the snap. They run the delay to Mayberry, and Mayberry, he got that extra effort and reached what should be a first down on the last lunge.
I don't know if he's going to get that spot or not.
Yeah,
looks like he moved him back, yeah.
The judge on the near side of the field came out and spotted it about 2 yards shorter than what I thought they should have. Maybe his knee was down before the lunge.
And it looked like, from the naked eye, I don't know what you saw, but it looked like he kept his knees off the ground. He might put his hand on the ground, which is perfectly fine, but it looked like he got it to me from the naked eye.
Well, they've pulled up 4th down, but they are going to come and ask for a measurement. But by that spot, it should not be a first down to the naked eye. But again, we thought the spot could have and should have been a little bit better for Brandon Mayberry with that good second effort.
It's be a little short.
Just barely, though. By the nose of a football, it's short. Looking at 2 chain links there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Schweich go for it. And even though the ball is at your own 39-yard line, the offense is staying on the field. Coach Schweich, he'll gamble with the best of them, and I think they're going for it here.
Yeah, it looks like they might. And it could be something, too, where Bridges lines up at the quarterback spot and does a little quick kick. You never know.
Against this Potosi defense, this will be interesting here. Ball at the 39-yard line. Potosi stacks the box. Central stacks the box. There's the snap. They hand it to the fullback, Harlow. Harlow's got the first down easy, running off left guard across the 40 to the 41. 2-yard pickup for Drew Harlow, and if you need an inch, he's the guy to give the football to.
It makes your decision a lot easier with him in the backfield.
4 carries, 13 yards for Drew Harlow in this ball game so far. Down to 4:30 left to go in the second quarter. This could be the quickest first half that I've had in a long time here covering a football game. Ball at the 41 of Central. And if Central can sustain this drive, get downfield, and score before halftime, it really could be a backbreaker, although it would just be a 2-score game, just the way this game's gone with limited possessions both sides. Shotgun snap to Bridges. Bridges in trouble now. He's going to have to scramble out of the pocket. He tucks and runs and has a little bit of a lane. Jukes back to the outside and then back to the inside, and eventually is brought down at the 49-yard line. Talk about making something out of nothing. He picked up 8 yards on a carry, scrambling out of the pocket.
Yeah, that was just an athletic football play. You could see about the 30-yard line, he really turned on the boosters when he decided he was not going to look for any more receivers anymore and just tuck it and run. But good job escaping the pressure and making a negative positive.
Second down and 2 after the 8-yard carry by Bridges, and Bridges is leading his team in rushing right now with 17 yards on 5 carries. They're spreading it out as far as giving running backs a different plays to different running backs. Second down and 2 from the 49. From the shotgun, there's the snap and a handoff. This goes to Mayberry, and Mayberry will get across the 50-yard line to the 49. Should be enough for a first down. It's right where he needed to get to the other 49-yard line. Might be another measurement, but Mayberry's awful close. At worst, it's 3rd down and inches. They've moved the chains. Mayberry hasn't had a whole lot of running room tonight, but he does have the game's only touchdown. 5 carries, 12 yards. This drive started at the Central 29-yard line. I really didn't expect to see this kind of offense from Central tonight. This is what we would have seen out of Central the past few years. Shotgun snap, Bridges. He's going deep down the left sideline looking for Mannion. The ball is tipped and almost intercepted. Dylan King actually played the ball a little bit better than Braden Mannion did that time.
Yeah, he did, and good defense there by Potosi. Ball was just underthrown just a little bit, but good job, Mannion, sneaking a hand in there and trying to make a play. But if not, that ball could be picked.
It looked like King was running the route and Mannion was playing defense on the play. That breaks a streak of 3 straight completions thrown by Jacob Bridges, and a second down and 10, ball at the 49 with 3:14 on the clock in the second quarter. Central has won the last 3 meetings between these two schools, but prior to that, Potosi had won 7 straight going back to 10 years ago, and that's, I'm not sure what happened before that, but that's under Coach Casey's tenure. Coach Schweiss's tenure. Coach Schweiss is 3-7 against Potosi, but he's won the last 3. Here's a pass to the right side from Jake Bridges to the 40-yard line. Pass is caught. Yards shy of a first down. And it was hauled in by Hunter Strange. The pass goes 9 yards from Jake Bridges. Strange has hauled in a couple of passes today. 2 catches, 15 yards. Third down and 1 yard to go. Ball right at the 40, and the clock's still ticking away. Each team still with 3 timeouts left in this one. It's going to be Harlow, Comfort, and Mayberry as the backs in the backfield. A 2 tight end set for Jake Bridges. He takes his time as he comes to the line of scrimmage. Play clock was down to 9 as the handoff went to the left side. This went to Drew Harlow. He got the first down to the 38-yard line, and Central staying in front of those chains right now. And Potosi wanted to do this to Central tonight, and here it is, Central turning the tables on them and really sustaining these drives and milking that clock for all it's worth.
Yeah, Central's definitely winning the possession time for sure. And they're gonna want to run this down close to where they can score him before halftime, and then take a 13-point lead into halftime.
Now here comes the measurement. We also still have an update ready to go from Greg Armbruster from St. Genevieve, but the way this game's going, we haven't really had much of a chance to get to those updates. So as soon as we have a stoppage here, we will get to that update coming up soon. There's been a score in the St. Genevieve and Fredericktown game. Ball inside the 40-yard line. They have moved the chains for a first down on that last Drew Harlow carry. You're on the J98 game of the week in Park Hills. The Rebels celebrating homecoming tonight and on top 6-0 over Potosi. Down to 2:15 to play first half. 4 receivers set for Jake Bridges. He'll throw the out route here to Logan Comfort, and Comfort makes the catch at the 35 and falls forward to the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 4 yards on the pass and catch from Bridges to Comfort, and Comfort makes his first grab of the game.
You see Bridges starting to play a little more relaxed, slinging the ball around the field and hitting receivers right on target.
Central starting to pick up the pace now as we're down under 2 minutes to go first half. Twins left, Twins right. Ball's inside the 35-yard line at the 33-yard line. Jake Bridges has the play he wants. Taps Mayberry on the back. Trade spots with him. Takes the shotgun snap. Bridges keeps it running to the right side. Gets tripped up a bit, but gets across the 30. Inside the 30 to the 29, maybe 28. 5-yard carry and close to a first down. They've run that play quite a bit where Bridges just takes that snap and runs right off of his right guard's hip. And it's going to be third down and short, it looks like, as Coach Schweiss calls the timeout, his first with 1:29 left to go in the half. That's a golden opportunity for me to get to the update from St. Genevieve and Fredericktown. Let's fire that one up.
We have our first touchdown of the evening between the St. Genevieve Dragons and the Fredericktown Blackcats, and it comes courtesy of the Fredericktown defense. It was a quarterback keeper for Wyatt Lalamandier for the St. Genevieve Dragons. He fumbled the ball. Number 24, Matt Williams of the Blackcats, scoops it, goes 50 yards down the sideline for the touchdown. The Blackcats follow that up with a 2-point conversion. They currently lead 8-0. We have 9:54 to go in the second quarter, and Fredericktown's up 8-0. And set to kick off. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Greg. Those updates brought to you by Curtin Livestock in Fredericktown and St. Genevieve Care Center in St. Genevieve. So that is also out of this conference, the white division of the MAFC, and also out of this district. All 4 of these teams that are involved in the J98 game or J98 update game play in Class 3, District 1. So Central has a 3rd down and 1, ball at the 29-yard line of Potosi in a drive that started back at the Central 29. We have 1:29 seconds left to play in the second quarter already. And timeout was just called, so Central's down to their final 2 timeouts, but plenty of time left to try to punch one in before halftime. Comfort is going to line up as a tight end on the far side of the field. They'll go one receiver right, one receiver left. Caldwell's also lined up as a tight end on the near side of the field. Mayberry is the lone set back. There's the snap on 3rd down and 1. Bridges keeps it. Potosi bottles him up quickly, but again, an extra effort may have gotten Bridges the first down. That little lunge at the end of it could have been enough to move the chains. He only needed about a half a yard, and I think he got that.
Yeah, he was hit at least 4 or 5 yards deep in the backfield and slipped that tackle and maybe got enough for a first down. Looks like they did.
Timeout looks like is going to be called for a measurement. We'll take that time with 1:21 left to go in the second quarter. To thank a few more sponsors like Crown Collision Center in Farmington, Donaldson Cycles of Park Hills, Bliggs Equipment in St. Genevieve, Polite Ready Mix in Potosi, Culligan Water in Ludington, and Mega Sports in Farmington. Well, if you like power, physical, smash mouth type of football, this is the game for you. It's been a fun one so far. And looks like this should be plenty for a first down. Again, by the length of the football, Jake Bridges has picked up what he needs for the Central Rebels. Central already leading 6-0 with 1:21 to go in the quarter. Potosi, though, if you can get a stop here, Garrett, and it doesn't even have to be pretty. I mean, just turn them over on downs, force them to run the remainder of the clock out, whatever. If you can go into halftime down 6-0, I think you're feeling okay about yourself.
Yeah, I think they'll be extremely happy with that. You know, a one-touchdown game in any scenario, you got to be feeling pretty good and feel like you can get back in the ball game with one score.
Empty backfield for Jake Bridges, takes the shotgun snap, rolls to the right side, has an out route there, and a big hit, but the pass is caught on the far side, 2 to 3 yards short of a first down. And they'll keep the clock running. They'll say his forward progress was stopped inbounds. It was Hunter Strange on the 7-yard catch. Up to 44 yards passing now is Jake Bridges.
We're going to see Central start to hurry things up a little bit, try to get as many plays in they can before the half and take shots at the end zone.
43 seconds on the clock with 2 timeouts still left. From under center this time, Bridges takes the snap. It's a straight drop back, and he throws off of his back foot. The pass is caught by Logan Comfort. Logan Comfort gets the edge to the 10, to the 5, and lunges at the pylon. And he's in for the touchdown. A 21-yard pass and catch from Jake Bridges to Logan Comfort. 2-score game.
Colin Best had probably one of the best blocks I've seen all season. A guy out in the flat just laid him out and gave a big lane for the touchdown there. Awesome block. I like seeing those blocks. They don't get mentioned a whole lot on the radio, but I love seeing them.
Logan Comfort with a touchdown reception. Bridges has thrown his 9th of the season. He threw that one off of his back foot to a little drag route, it looked like. And now Bridges for the extra point. And the kick could be wide right. Looks like it's gone off of the goalpost, and it did. Coach Swice telling me in pregame that he leads the league and kicks off of the upright, and he missed that one. So 0 for 2 tonight. He had the other one blocked. 12-0. Central strikes again and leads with 29 seconds left to go in the first half. We'll take a 30-second timeout on G98 The Booth.
Moyer's Muffler and Auto in Park Hills is family-owned and operated. So just like family, they know your dollar counts. So when you need good, honest work at a good, honest price, see Moyer's Muffler and Auto. Not only for mufflers, but inspections, oil changes, brakes, complete exhaust, new tires, AC work. And now you can take your vehicle to Moyer's Muffler and Auto for all of its alignment needs. That's Moyer's Muffler and Auto, 502 East Main Street in Park Hills, 431-5428.
Logan Comfort with the receiving touchdown for Central makes it 12-0. Rebels on their homecoming, having fun tonight at the expense of the Potosi Trojans. Still a highly competitive game, but Central's offense has been the one that's sustained a couple of big drives in this game. That last one, a 71-yard drive, brought to you by ProCare Automotive in Bonterre. Now Potosi with 29 seconds left to go in the half. I think for Central, you just keep the ball away from Austin Cooley here and go into halftime with a 2-score lead.
Yeah, just play defense like you have been. Stop the run, and when they pass, make plays.
Hood's Discount Home Center halftime show is coming your way in just moments. Jake Bridges gets a drive into this one, angles at far side of the field. The kick is caught at the 15-yard line and returned to about the 25-27, about a 12-yard return, and that's where Potosi takes over. Now you can do one of two things if you're Potosi. You can just hand off a couple of times and kind of take your losses and go into halftime down by 2 scores, or maybe you try to drop a couple of bombs to Austin Cooley here.
And with a 12-0 ball game, If I were coaching, and obviously I'm not, but I think you would keep the ball on the ground here. A 12-0 ball game's nothing you can't get back into with a couple scores. You don't want to turn the ball over here late in the first half and dig yourself a big hole for the second.
Well, the big matchup tonight was supposed to be between Braden Mannion and Austin Cooley. Mannion has 1 catch for 7 yards. Austin Cooley still has no catches. He's made an interception on defense, so really not much between those two guys. It's been a running game tonight for Central that's led the way. 1st down and 10, and there's a shotgun snap to Huerta. He's going to throw underneath on a little receiver screen to Chandler Franklin. He makes the catch at the 30 and gets up to the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of about 7 yards for Chandler Franklin, and the clock will stop with 4.9 seconds on the clock. We have another update ready to go, it sounds like, from St. Genevieve. 2nd down and 2, and we'll have to wait till halftime to get to that last update, I do believe. Or actually, we're going to have a timeout, Potosi. So let's go ahead and squeeze the update in real quick. In a 12-0 ball game with 14 seconds left to go here. Potosi has the ball, 2nd and 2 from the 36. Let's go to Greg for the update from St. Gen.
We now have a tie football game between St. Genevieve and Fredericktown. After falling behind 8-0, St. Genevieve responds, capitalizing on a Black Cat turnover. The Dragons recovered a fumble on the 35-yard line of Fredericktown. 15 seconds and 2 plays later, a 35-yard screen pass to Luke Gettinger, and St. Genevieve gets in the end zone. They follow up with a 2-point conversion. We're tied at 8-8 with 5 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the second quarter. St. Genevieve set to kick off. Back to you guys.
And those updates from Greg Armbruster brought to you by Cureton Livestock in Fredericktown and St. Genevieve Care Center in St. Genevieve. So Potosi, a 2nd down and 2, ball at their own 36. And apparently, Garrett, 1:70 left to go in the first half.
Boy.
I think they've set that wrong. Should be probably 17 seconds.
Yeah.
They have 1 minute and 70 seconds, but somebody put a 0 in a wrong spot or a 7 in a wrong spot. They'll get that figured out. So with that Potosi timeout, looked like they had to reset the clock from 14 back to 17. That's exactly what they've done. Trojans are going to spread it out now. They've got Austin Cooley wide right and Trips out to the left. Each team still with 2 timeouts left. A shotgun snap to Jordan Huerta. Huerta throws a pump fake in the air and then throws deeper Austin Cooley. Cooley lets it go through his hands, and the ball is almost intercepted. Cooley was ready to run before he caught the ball, and had he caught it, he might have had some room, but incomplete. Huerta is 1 for 3 passing for 8 yards, and that 8-yard completion went to Chandler Franklin right before the timeout. And if Austin Cooley could haul that in, maybe you're in a situation where you could throw a Hail Mary into the end zone, but now it's looking a little bit more like we're going to halftime, definitely with a 2-score game.
Yeah, and if he hauls that in, he had some room to work. You never know with a guy with his ability, with his speed too.
Just forgot to look that ball all the way into his hands that time. That doesn't happen much. Thompson, the lone receiver to the right. Cooley is slot to the left. Also 2 more receivers out to the left are King and Franklin. On a 3rd down and 2 from the 36, shotgun snap to Jordan Huerta. Drops back, throws the quick slant. This goes to Thompson. Thompson across the 45 to the 46 for a 1st down. Potosi will get the clock stopped to move the chains. Then they'll likely call the timeout with 5 seconds on the clock. The ball from the 36 to the 43, so about a 7-yard completion there. And Thompson makes his first grab of the game. He had a 50-yard touchdown reception last week against St. Genevieve, one of the plays of the week last week. So now with 5 seconds on the clock, we might see Huerta's arm. See how far he can throw it. He'll be looking to one of his big receivers toward the end of this first half, but still probably not close enough to the end zone to actually throw it into the end zone, I don't think, for Huerta. Timeout is called. Both teams return to their sidelines, and Potosi is down to their final timeout, and that will probably be the last timeout. I think this last play is probably going to be the last play of the first half before we go to the Hoods Discount Home Center halftime show, unless we see a quick incompletion or something like that. And I think if you're Central, you probably just kind of throw everybody back in coverage and play some prevent or quarters defense here and make sure you don't get beat by Austin Cooley. Yeah,
I'm sure Coach Weiss is telling the defensive backs, don't let anybody get behind you. Everybody stays in front of you. Knock a ball down. But another, on the flip side with Potosi, I'm seeing a couple of receptions for Huerta. Probably going to help his confidence going in the second half. Seeing balls getting caught and making good passes can only help.
They've moved that ball up to the 46-yard line, so that was a 10-yard reception by Thompson on the last play. So ball at the 46 and 5.7 to go. We'll see likely another timeout. It is. This time Central wants the timeout. Each team will have one left with 5.7 on the clock. Let's thank a few sponsors while we're waiting. Potosi Lumber Company, West Transportation of Bismarck, Moyer's Muffler in Park Hills, Grand Oaks Heating and Cooling in Leadington, Omega Makes It Personal in Farmington, Busenbark Flooring in Farmington, Larry's Heisel Reynolds in Caledonia, and Home Pools and Spas in Leadington. Well, Potosi just hasn't been able to get the offense going tonight, Garrett, and they've been able to get a couple of first downs with Central kind of sending everybody back in coverage on this drive. But I thought the running game for Potosi would look a little bit better than it's looked in the first two quarters of this one.
Yeah, and you can chalk that up to maybe a good defense on Central's behalf. The one thing I've noticed for the defensive line on Central, they're shedding blocks really well. Getting blocks out of the way and making good tackles, open field tackles up the middle. You gotta chalk it up to a really good Central Rebel defense.
Jordan Huerta has completed 2 passes for 18 yards in this game. And now he'll be asked to chuck it deep with 5.7 on the clock in quarter number 2 to try to cut the deficit in half. Trips to the right, one receiver out to the left. Huerta takes the snap from shotgun, and the defensive end comes on a 3 rush and just blows him up. Brandon Mayberry, All-State defensive end, forces a wobbler over the middle that's incomplete. And we'll see second down and 10 with 1.1 second on the clock. And if you get Mayberry coming free, you better get rid of that football. And tell you what, Huerta's lucky that he did.
Yeah, Mayberry's coming from the backside, and Huerta had no clue he was coming. Good thing he got the ball out in time, though. It could be a fumble, and like I said, if that gets scooped up and scored before halftime for Central, you're looking for a big hole to dig out of for the Trojans.
Potosi's going to call their final timeout with second down and 10, ball at their own 46-yard line. That collision was brought to you by Crown Collision Center. There's another Crown collision in this game. So the Central Rebels holding on to a 12-0 lead over the Potosi Trojans. Again, be listening for the Hoods Discount Home Center halftime show. As soon as we get to the end of the second quarter here, one more play, and we'll get to it. We'll have the highlights from this game, highlights from the Farmington game tonight. Also have highlights from the KJF game of the week. And that was billed to be a heck of a game between Hillsboro and Festus in the red division of the MAFC. And while we're waiting for the play, let's see if I can check the score on that one. Looks like Hillsboro trails Festus 7-6. That's in the second quarter. Big game. So the final play of the second quarter is ready to go. Second down and 10 from the 46. Trips right, one receiver left. Huerta takes the shotgun snap, drops back, and the pocket is going to collapse on him. Colin Best with the sack, along with number 60, Dakota Pope, the defensive tackle. Huerta goes nowhere, and that's the end of half number 1. Central 12 and Potosi nothing. Well, the Central Rebels get the kickoff of half number 2, and it's Nick Haney who returns it about 23 yards up across the 30 to the 36, 37-yard line. And the Central Rebels will work left to right in the third quarter. As you look on G98 and G98 Web TV tonight, Potosi will try to get their crowd pumped up on this Central homecoming. The Rebels 12, Potosi nothing. So the Rebel offense, not only did they score right before halftime, they get the ball back to start half at number 2. And here we are with Jake Bridges working from the shotgun, and one receiver left, twins to the right, one back in the backfield. Hunter Strange is the receiver split out to the near side. A high snap. Jake Bridges lost the handle of it, and there's a fight for it back at the 30-yard line inside the 30. Bridges had it, lost it, got it again, and now let's see who has the football. Potosi football. Turnover number 2 by Central. And we've seen a couple of mistakes by this Central team tonight. Jake Bridges' interception, 2 missed extra points, and now Potosi starts with their best field position of the night, but they got to get it going.
That's exactly what that Potosi defense needed. Opening drive, coming out down 12 points, getting a turnover and short field to work for the Potosi Trojans offense here.
Some first half stats for you. Potosi didn't have much in the way of offense, just 49 total yards, 31 rushing, and 18 passing. Blaine Riddle had 7 carries for 20 yards. Austin Cooley did not get a carry. Potosi starts at the Central 30. Cooley split out to the left side. From the pistol, there's the snap and a pitch to the right side. Blaine Riddle loses a yard, just nowhere to go. Colin Best, the defensive end, far side of the field, locked that down.
Another good job by the Central defense, shedding blocks, making tackles at the line, and not letting them get any more yards past that.
So we just started the third quarter in a 12-0 ball game, 11 minutes, 17 seconds left to go. If you were just getting back from the refrigerator or kitchen or whatever and you missed it It was a fumbled snap by Jake Bridges, and I shouldn't even say a fumbled snap, just a bad snap that went over his head, and he couldn't control it. And Potosi takes over at the 30, but Blaine Riddle loses a half a yard, and now a 2nd down and 10. Austin Cooley still lined up as a wide receiver, split out to the left side. And Jordan Huerta back in the pistol. There's the snap. Play action pass. Rolls to the right side. Throws off his back foot and has a man out there for about a 4-yard reception. Looks like that was John Thompson who made the grab far side of the field.
You see here Huerta starting to get, feeling a little more comfortable hitting some short, 5-6 yard passes. And I think, it's a good job by Coach Casey calling these plays for him to build his confidence up. Seeing guys catch balls, it's kind of like basketball. Seeing a ball go through the hoop builds your confidence.
3rd down and 7, ball at the 27-yard line, and Potosi has been unable to convert on a whole lot of 3rd downs today. Now we get a stoppage. The officials spotting the ball. Look like they were going to re-spot the ball, but they got it in the right spot now. Austin Cooley lined up wide right. John Thompson wide left. They better get somebody out on him. Eventually, Tristan Pyatt comes out to cover him. With one back in the backfield, Jordan Huerta on 3rd and 7 takes the shotgun snap, drops back, has time, and then runs out of time. Throws to the right side, and it's Cooley coming back to the football and making the catch, but short of a 1st down. He needed 7 and got about 5, maybe 4 yards, and that's Cooley's first grab of the game.
And flag here back in the secondary. We'll see if this is defensive interference or...
Cooley did a good job coming back to his quarterback on the play because initially Huerta had some time and then some late pressure came out on him. He had to get rid of that football. Did a good job doing so, but we do see the flag. It's going to be a hold. It's going to be on the defense. With 10 minutes and 41 seconds on the clock. We only saw 2 penalties in the first half. They were both 5-yard penalties, so 2 penalties for a total of 10 yards in this game. This is just the 3rd penalty of the game. Let's see if Coach Casey accepts or declines and see where they're going to spot the ball. If that is declined, you're looking at 4th down and short. If you accept, I believe you're looking at 3rd down and short here. Because I don't think it's an automatic 1st down penalty, is it?
I don't think so, no.
So while they do that, we'll check the sponsors in this game. Parkland Health Mart Pharmacies in Deloge, Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling in Farmington, and Innovative Warehousing and Distributing in Farmington. Potosi Trojans have gotten a couple of breaks in this game, an interception, also a big fumble recovery on the bad snap.
Maybe it was.
And it was the yardage, it looks like, that marched it into a 1st down. So penalty is accepted, and it's a 10-yard penalty against the Central Rebels. That's their 2nd penalty of the night. So they're losing the penalty game and they're losing the turnover game, but they're winning on the scoreboard 12-0. 10:37 left to go first half. Potosi back to work with the ball at the 17. There's a snap and a handoff to Riddle. He started middle, then cut to the outside, then got an extra effort inside the 15 to about the 14, 2 to 3 yard carry for Blaine Riddle, but Central's always had a man on him. He hasn't had much room.
That's one of the better inside runs Potosi's had with Blaine Riddle running up the middle, but this is going to be huge. If Potosi can punch this ball in here, what a turn of momentum and, everything, especially with Central getting the ball at halftime. Quick turnover. This could be a ball game real fast.
2nd down and 7, the ball just inside the 15-yard line. So since that fumble, Potosi's moved the ball 15 yards. 2 receivers, 1 left and 1 right. Cooley split out to the near side. He's the receiver on the left, Thompson on the right. From the shotgun, there's Huerta, drops straight back. He throws it deep, one-on-one coverage. The pass is caught in the back of the end zone, but incomplete. That was a heck of a grab out there by John Thompson, but couldn't get a foot in.
A little pushing and shoving going on while that ball's in flight. Referees let him play. Good athletic ability of pulling that ball in just a little bit too far.
3rd down and 7. The last 3rd down and 7, a penalty helped out Potosi, gave him 10 yards, put him at the 17-yard line. But it's tough. You run out of room down here in the red zone. Tough enough to move the ball in this Central defense anyway. This is a Central defense that's coming off of a 40-0 shutout over a Class 6 school last week on Northwest's homecoming. Now they're looking for a good showing on their homecoming tonight. Haven't played their best football, but they played pretty well. 1 receiver left, 1 receiver right. Shotgun snap to Huerta. Huerta fires quickly to Cooley. Cooley, again, forgot to catch the football. He came back and let it go right through his hands. Incomplete, and he's looking to run before he catches it. Can't do that.
Yeah, he was. That's twice now. He's kind of taking his eye off the football and, trying to make decisions before he catches it. But all in all, still a very good wide receiver.
Well, and he knew the comparisons had been being made between him and Braden Mannion. He wanted to have a big game tonight, and there's still time for it, but I think he's thinking about it a little bit too much. Cooley wide left, Thompson wide right, 4th down and 7. Potosi has to go for it from the 15-yard line. And we'll see a stoppage of play before the snap. Looks like a timeout on the field. Central will call their first. 9:38 left to go. Third quarter, 12-0 Central. Potosi has a 4th and 7 at the Rebel 15. We'll come back in 30 seconds. You're listening to High School Football on G98.
Did you know that Earth Mother Health Foods, LLC, is owned and operated by our family for 24 years here in Farmington? This is Mary Lee. I would like to thank all of our customers for allowing myself and our well-informed staff to help you live a healthier life the natural way. We have expanded to now 4,000 square feet to include V-Tree Originals, custom tie-dye and art by our daughter, Vicki the Artist. That's Earth Mother Health Foods in downtown Farmington.
Pretty good game going on in DeSoto's homecoming tonight. DeSoto's come back and made that a 2-point game at halftime. Windsor 21, DeSoto 19. In our game, 12-0 Central, but Potosi has a 4th and 7 at the Central 15-yard line. A big play in this game right now. Central trying to hold on after giving the football away on a fumble back at the 30. From the shotgun, Huerta takes the snap with 2 receivers, drops back, has nobody downfield, scrambles out of the pocket, then throws on the run. The pass is broken up, far side of the field, incomplete. And Central secondary, which has been outstanding all season long, is having a great game tonight. Turnover on downs.
Yeah, it's a big stop for the Rebels there. Getting pushed back to their own end zone and, 4-down territory, getting a stop, turning the ball over, and see this offense go to work.
Brandon Mayberry providing pressure again that time, He and Colin Bess having all-state seasons last year, returning for their senior seasons, just wreaking havoc. And their numbers aren't as good right now as they were at this point last year, but it doesn't matter. These two are excellent football players, and Coach Schweiss, Coach Jones, and company for Central so lucky to have those two guys providing pressure on the outside. Central starts at their own 15-yard line after the turnover on downs. And from the I formation set, Bridges comes under center and hands it off. And this is to Brandon Mayberry. Mayberry's able to get to the outside this time. Stiff arms a man across the 20, to the 30, to the 40, up the sideline. Look at him go. You can wave goodbye. He's gone. 10-5, touchdown, 85 yards. Brandon Mayberry, his second of the night, 18-0. Central Rebels with 9:17 to go, third quarter.
Yeah, that's the first run we've seen break open for a big yardage tonight, and what speed by Mayberry there, getting around the edge. Had one guy to beat and just basically ran around him.
A converted lineman is the fastest guy on the Central team. Coach Schweiss has said Brandon Mayberry is the fastest. He showed the speed on that play. 85 yards on one play. It's his second touchdown and his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. And what looked to be a big momentum swing for Potosi after the fumble turns into a turnover on downs, and then Central goes up 3 scores with an 18-0 lead with 9:17 to go in the third quarter. Now Central's going to go for 2 to try to get some of those points back from the 2 misses. And they're going to run 2 receivers to the right in I formation. Drew Harlow is the deep back. Logan Comfort is the fullback. Single coverage on the outside. Bridges takes the snap, rolls to the right, and throws to Braden Mannion. He goes up and makes a snatching grab right in the middle of the end zone for a 2-point conversion. It's good. 20-0 Rebels. 9:17 to play third quarter. We break for 60 seconds on J98.
Precious memories left behind bring us joy and peace of mind when we celebrate the lives of those we love.
We're there for you in your time of need. In fact, we've been serving the Farmington area since 1864. With years of service to our community, we're proud to be your choice for funeral care.
Celebrate the lives of those you love.
Cozine Memorial Chapel, Farmington.
Did you know that the word spa literally means health from water? The benefits of heat from a spa include increased blood flow, reduced blood pressure, often in as little as 20 minutes, and deep muscle relaxation. While soaking in a spa, your blood is warmed, circulating throughout your body, delivering therapeutic heat that other treatments cannot. And there are also benefits for your central nervous system. Only at Home Pools and Spas will you find high-quality spas that come complete with our certified Clear Care chemical specialist, extensive outstanding service, and your satisfaction guarantee. For more information about the healthy benefits of your own spa, give us a call or stop in Home Pools and Spas today and see just how affordable and easy it is to turn your home into a healthy relaxation destination, a place that your family and friends will love to create memories to last a lifetime. We'd like to earn your business and exceed your expectations in savings and service. Home Pools and Spas on the Outer Service Road, just south of the Leadington exit on Highway 67.
An 85-yard touchdown run by Brandon Mayberry, his 5th of the season, makes it 20-0 Central Rebels. The ensuing kickoff booted out of bounds. Potosi will decline the penalty, and it looks like they'll make the Central Rebels re-kick this one, and I think that's a good idea for Potosi. Oh, nope, they went ahead and accepted it. Ball at the 35-yard line. So Potosi will take over at the 35. I thought they might decline it because you want to try to get the ball in the hands of Austin Cooley on a kickoff return, but Potosi's going to take it at the 35 and try to get something going with this offense. Just not much doing for the purple, white, and gold tonight. 9:17 on the clock, and they need more Austin Cooley. One receiver left, one receiver right. It's Cooley left, Thompson right. From the pistol, there's the snap. Huerta hands it off to the right side. Blaine Riddle, and Riddle tries to get to the outside, but Central's defense pursues much too well for that. He got what he could, maybe a yard, maybe 2, but not much else. And I think with Blaine especially, and especially against Central with their outside speed guys, I think you got to go dives and ISOs here because nothing's going on the outside.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him to get around the edge, especially when you got Colin Best running down plays like that. It's gonna be tough. And like you said, you want to get the ball to Austin Cooley as much as you can, but when he's spread out, on the near sideline here, far away, it's going to be tough to get him the ball.
Potosi will catch a break here, though. You can take that carry off the books because there was a personal foul face mask. Well, actually, you leave the carry on the books, but a personal foul face mask goes against Central. So the ball moves from the 35 up to the 50 on a 15-yard penalty. That's just the 3rd penalty Central has committed tonight for 25 yards. But ball at midfield for Potosi, and they need to get it going. 1st down and 10, just inside the 50-yard line. It's a read option play, and the pitch comes to Riddle. Central defense, nowhere to go. It's Drew Harlow who slows him down. He gets finished off by one of the other linebackers, and Riddle loses 2 yards in the backfield. And Huerta, whether he keeps that or pitches it, Central was just ready for the play. There was no chance.
Yeah, it's picture-perfect option defense right there. A guy wraps up the quarterback, takes him, and leaves the defensive end or outside linebacker left for the pitch guy. Can't draw it up any better than that.
10 carries, 20 yards for Blaine Riddle tonight, averaging just 2 yards per carry against this outstanding Central defense. 20-0, Rebels, and a 2nd down and a long 12 or short 13. Ball back at the Potosi 48. One receiver right, one receiver left. It's Cooley to the near side. From the pistol, Huerta takes the snap, drops back, looks left and throws right. Looking for Thompson. It's a wobbler in the air. Thompson can't run underneath. A lot of contact over there, and a flag did get thrown. So I'm thinking this is going to be a pass interference penalty against the Central Rebels. There was a lot of bumping and pushing and checking on the far side of the field. And if it is against Central, it's not a spot of a foul penalty. They'll march off the yardage. Let's see if they do indeed call pass interference. Did you see pass interference?
Yeah, it looks like Central knows the way they're backing up. Looks like they know.
Now the line of scrimmage was the 48-yard line. A 15-yard penalty. It's going to put it inside the Central 40-yard line to the 37. So 2 15-yard penalties in a matter of 3 plays, and Potosi will take it any way they can get it. 1st down and 10, 37-yard line of Central. One receiver right, one receiver left. Cooley goes in motion from left to right. They take the snap, fake it to Cooley. Then a big hole opens up for Riddle. He goes up the middle, and then it closes down on him. Good linebacking play by Central. Inside the 35, down to the 33. Ends up just being a 4 to 5 yard carry.
Like you said, Riddle had a pretty good hole to run through, but linebacker stepped up real quick and closed it up. That's just the mark of a good defense. If the defensive line gets beat, you got that second line back there to stop it.
2nd down and 5 from the 32. So, again, Central has won the last 3 matchups, but Coach Schweiss is in his 11th year, and in his 10 previous matchups against Potosi, he was 0 for his first 7 before winning these last 3. And now Central is on a roll with their team, and Potosi's trying to get back to being on a roll. And right now they're still trailing Central in this conference and in this district, and they're trailing them in this game. Potosi's going to have to call timeout. They didn't have the look they wanted on field. 7:22 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Central's opened up a 20-0 lead out of the break. So as Potosi takes a timeout, we'll take a timeout right along with them. 3-score game. Central leads it. We are back in 30 seconds on Kickin' Country. J98 The Booth.
Hey, sports fans. This is Bill Best, your American Family Insurance agent, serving the Parkland area for 30 years. Yes, that's right, 30 years this year. We have our team in place for a new season with seasoned veterans Teresa Buxton and Connie Agnew, and new recruit Nick Agnew. We have built our reputation on honesty, great service, and great products from American Family Insurance Company. We have the big plays ready for for our customers with homeowners, auto, business, and life insurance products. Join the winning team. Call Bill Bess in Park Hills today. We're proud to sponsor high school sports.
Central Rebels on top 20-0 with 7 minutes and 22 seconds left to go, third quarter. Potosi, though, with a 2nd and 5 at the Central 32-yard line. 2 big 15-yard penalties on this drive, one for pass interference, one for a face mask. Earlier in this game, Lucas Mannion left with what looked to be a leg injury, and I believe that is him sitting on the bench on the near side of the field without shoulder pads on, done for the game. And after seeing him kind of being carried off the field, not too surprised about that. Potosi back to the pistol from the 32-yard line. Jordan Huerta takes the snap. He's going to throw quickly to Cooley. Cooley makes the catch this time, jukes a man out, gets to the outside, and he's up across the 20-yard line before being ridden out of bounds. Good job on about a 12-yard catch there. And Cooley, this time you see him look the ball all the way into his hands and then make a play with his feet. First down.
Yeah, he did a great job looking that in. And, we all know what he can do after he catches a football, and he just showed right there, making guys miss and using his speed to get around him.
That's an 11-yard catch. 33 yards tonight passing for Jordan Huerta, just 15 yards receiving tonight for Austin Cooley, plus a couple of drops. Ball's at the 21-yard line of Central. So again, Potosi's been able to knock on the door a couple of times because of mistakes that Central's made. Unable to punch it in, though. John Thompson wide right. Dylan King wide left. And there's a snap, and they'll go quickly to King. Same play here, and he catches it at the 15-yard line before he's popped pretty good, about to the 14. But a 7-yard catch there by King. He makes his first grab of the game.
A little confusion on defense there. King was left unguarded, and good job by Huerta slinging it out there quick to him to get him 5 or 6 yards.
7-yard catch, excuse me. 2nd down and 3. Ball at the 14-yard line. So Potosi huddles up again. And still not out of this game by any means. Just a 3-score game if they can get the offense going. They really would like to punch it in right now, though. No Austin Cooley on the field. Waylon DeClue in there as a tight end. King wide left. Thompson is wide right. There's the snap. They hand it off to Blaine Riddle. Nowhere to go. Big number 78 for the Park Hills Central Rebels gets in there and makes sure that goes nowhere. Brandon Richardson on the stop, and Blaine Riddle's just had no success running the football tonight. Loss of about 3.
No, you almost feel bad for him. Just watching him in week 1, the way he ran and so many carries that he had against Carnahan, and never took a play off. He's trying his best out there, but that defense is pretty stout, definitely, especially in the front defensive line.
Shout out to those defenders on the front. Dakota Pope, Colin Best, Dustin Saunders, Brandon Mayberry, that time Richardson. On 3rd down and 5, Huerta drops back, throws a spiral end zone. It goes through the hands of his intended target, incomplete. Threw that into some traffic, and he made sure he had some mustard on that, too. If you were going to catch it, it was going to hurt those hands. Incomplete pass.
Not a bad play, trying to throw one in tight spaces. Looked like he almost had 2 receivers on top of each other there, but
looked like he was going for Thompson, who went up there to grab it, just couldn't do it. That was his 12th passing attempt of the night. Huerta has thrown for 40 yards. He's also thrown an interception, his 3rd of the season. 4th down and 5 from the 16. Potosi has not been able to convert on 4th down tonight, especially in the red zone. Riddle remains the lone set back. 1 receiver right, 1 receiver left. It's King in there for Cooley. There's the snap. Huerta's in trouble. Sacked all the way back at the 24-yard line. Colin Bess and Brandon Mayberry got there at the same time. All-State making things happen. Turnover on downs.
Once again, you see the pressure the Central defensive line can bring on you. And I tell you what, not only are they stopping the run, but when they see that quarterback drop back, they're licking their chops to get a piece of it.
Can't help but feel for Colby Boyer and Caleb Courtois. 2 good tackles, but it's so hard to kind of get off the snap against 2 speedy guys like Bess and Mayberry. Mayberry's the speed guy, and Bess has pretty good speed for a big man as well, but he's also got that raw power, and it's a great combination. So Central takes over at the 23 now. There's the snap and a quick pass. Wide receiver screen is short-hopped over there to Braden Mannion, incomplete. Yards for the Central Rebels compared to 49 first-half yards for the Potosi Trojans.
I can't tell right now, but I do believe Austin Cooley might be on the sideline with an injury after that ball he caught on this near sideline.
Yeah, because they didn't put him in after that. Dylan King had taken his place, and he's not out there on the field on defense either. Looks like Potosi's going to call a timeout. Zach Drennan, who was on the sideline as well, is going to come back into this huddle. So the timeout by Potosi, that's already their second. They trail by 3 scores, and they burned 2 timeouts in the third quarter with 5:45 still left to play. You believe that might be a big deal for Potosi, who needs to play catch-up now down to just 1 timeout?
Yeah, and especially if Austin Cooley's not going to be on the football field, it's going to make it tough for them, especially on the offensive end, handicapping them a little bit. With a JV or not JV, junior quarterback in Huerta who hasn't played a whole lot, just four starts in his high school career, and Blaine Riddle trying to get something going, but it's definitely going to handicap him a little bit.
Central the last 3 times against Potosi, 34-0 last year, 33-6 in 2012, and 24-0 the year before that. So that's an average of 30-2, the score between these two teams the last 3 years. And you look at the score now, 20-0. Central has dominated this series over the last 3, maybe 4 years if they continue to dominate this way. But dating before that, Potosi had won 7 straight and was outscoring Central 26.5 to 21.5 in those 7 games. So it had always been close, but Potosi always got the edge, kind of big brother syndrome. Not anymore. It's Central, the little brother, jumping out in front now. There's a snap and a handoff. This goes to Brandon Mayberry, and he'll run straight up and down from time to time, but if he gets that open field, look out. He's already broken off an 85-yard run. He gets close to the 25-yard line. It's about a 1 to 2 yard carry for Brandon Mayberry, who's approaching 100 yards rushing. 5 minutes and 26 seconds, third quarter. Just a yard on the carry for Brandon. 98 yards, though, on just 7 carries tonight for Brandon Mayberry. When you run the 85-yard play in for a touchdown, it tends to help those average numbers.
Yeah, it does.
3rd down and 9. Strange, Comfort, and Mannion lined up as receivers on the right side. One receiver is over to the left side just off the end. He's going to come in motion. That's Mayberry. Another bad snap, and Bridges is just going to have to fall on it. He gets eaten up back inside the 20. In fact, inside the 15-yard line. That's the second time we've seen that on those shotgun snaps. Dakota Pope is a senior center, but he's airmailed a couple of those, and they lost one of them, and now they have to punt on 4th and long.
Yeah, and, I know the first one they had a turnover on, but if Bridges doesn't get a hand on that could turn into an uglier play than it already was, getting a hand on it and being an athlete and at least getting back to the line of scrimmage so they could punt.
Still no Austin Cooley back to return for Potosi. Chandler Franklin, though, to be fair, has been the return man throughout this game. Be interesting to see if Potosi is going to put Cooley back into this game as they play catch-up. Looks like Potosi came across before the snap, 4th down and 14. From the 19. It is a neutral zone infraction on Potosi, but that's still going to put it at 4th down and 9. I still think we're going to see a Central punt here as they're backed up. 2 penalties, 5 yards tonight against Potosi, or 2 penalties, 10 yards tonight against the Trojans. Could be a statement type of game for the Central Rebels. Not that they really needed to make a statement. We knew they were a power in this area. I think we were looking more for the statement from Potosi saying, hey, we can play with these guys, but so far tonight, it's been all Central.
And, for the most part in the first half, you could probably say that with the exception of...
Especially defensively.
Right. Yeah, and just time's kind of slipping away from them here late in the third quarter, and without one of their best players on the field, it's going to be an uphill battle.
4th down and 9. The ball's moved up to the 24-yard line, and it's Bridges. Takes the snap. Has to go up and get this one, too. And then he gets a good leg into it. It's a high wobbler. It bounces at the 42-yard line and bounces back inside the 40, down to the 35 to the 34 before being down to about the 33-yard line. About a 43-yard punt by Jake Bridges. Potosi starts with decent field position. Still time left, down by 3 scores, 3:58 left to go. But if Austin Cooley can't come back, it's going to make this an even more of an uphill battle. Blaine Riddle checks back in the ball game. He's got his shirt untucked, and although he's only carried the ball 12 times tonight and he's used to carrying 30, Central's wearing him out because they're just not letting him get going. And when they get him, they pop him pretty good. Broadcast that comes your way tonight, courtesy of AAA Check Advance in Farmington and Crystal City, Lead Belt Pump and Supply in Park Hills, and Mueller Ace Hardware, also of Park Hills. Potosi back to the line of scrimmage. They start at their own 33. Dylan King wide left. It's John Thompson wide right. 2 backs in the backfield. There's a snap, and a handoff goes to Blaine Riddle, and Riddle puts his helmet down and gets close to the 35. About a yard, maybe 2 yards on the carry for Blaine. But that's been it for him. I mean, it's been pretty much 2 yards a carry for him. He's back up to 25 yards rushing on his 13th attempt of the night, 2nd down and 9. And now another injured Potosi Trojan. We've already seen Cooley go down. And it might have been Cooley who was back out there, and he's down again. I'm not sure if it's Cooley or not. Looks like 52 actually alignment. So still no Cooley on the field. 52 for Potosi. That would be Jake Neff, the center. We'll have a timeout as they take a look at him. 3:44 left to play. Third quarter action. All Central on their homecoming tonight, 20-0 over Potosi. We'll break for 30 seconds. You're listening to high school football on J98 and J98 Web TV.
By now, everyone knows that Cartridge World in Farmington is your best choice in saving you money on filling your printer and copier cartridges. Hi, this is Jeff at Cartridge World. As we begin our 7th year in business, we want to say thank you to St. Francis County and surrounding counties for their support and trust in our business. Here at Cartridge World, we have the newest technology and are always updating our filling procedures to serve you better. So again, thanks for making Cartridge World in Farmington your #1 choice in saving you money. That's Cartridge World in the Maple Valley Center.
KTJJ, Farmington, Festus, Crystal City, St. Genevieve. J98 The Boot. Digity. We live here too.
With a second down and 9 from the 34, Jordan Huerta is rushed out of the pocket by Colin Best, and he's just going to try to tuck and run. He's still going to lose yards, stacked back at the 31-yard line for a loss of 3. It'll set up 3rd down and 12. So Potosi is not able to run the football tonight. They haven't been able to pass the football tonight. It's just all kind of gone wrong for them on the offensive side of the ball. And, they'd come in maybe not with the most potent offense in the world, but I thought they would still be able to move the ball. No, hasn't been the case. It's been all Central defense tonight, and that was another 3-yard loss there. 3rd down and 12. Dylan King lines up as a receiver near side. It's John Thompson out wide right. Ball at the 31-yard line, under 3 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Jordan Huerta with a lone set back. He comes under center, takes the snap, drops back, rolls to his right. Throws underneath, and the pass is dropped. Seen a lot of drops out there, and that's another one incomplete. 4th down and long, a Potosi punt coming up.
Yeah, this was Central defense is really flying around the field, making tackles, making plays. See a ball in the air, they're right there. And it just makes it tough on an offense to get something going when you got a bunch of red shirts flying everywhere.
Goggins Drilling in Park Hills, Andy's Garage in Park Hills, Powell Automotive in Park Hills, and Harvest Christian Center in Park Hills, all fine and proud sponsors of tonight's broadcast. 2 minutes and 48 seconds left to go, 3rd quarter, and Dockery to punt for Potosi. A flag comes as the punt is nearly blocked, but has good distance on it. A low-line drive bounces at the 35, down to the 34, 33, 32, 30-yard line. We'll check the flag at 2:37 left to go. Do you see anything that Potosi can do differently offensively to try to attack this Central defense? They've got so many strengths Central does on the defensive side of the ball that pretty much anything Potosi's tried, it's failed.
Yeah, and like we said in the last series, without your playmaker on the field too, it's going to make it hard, especially play calling. What to call is when the run hasn't been working all night. When that's what your bread and butter is. Run the football successfully and then hit a nice pass to Austin Cooley. But as far as something different, I don't see anything that they can do that's going to beat this Central defense. The only time a Central defense usually gets beat is if they beat themselves with a blown coverage or a missed tackle, and tonight they're not doing that.
Potosi moved before that last snap. The penalty is going to be declined, and Central will take the spot where it is at their own 30-yard line, up 20-0 with 2:37 left to go in the 3rd quarter. So if you just missed it, a couple series ago, Potosi had lost Austin Cooley to an apparent injury, and he hasn't been back out on the field since. And I'll check as he comes out on, or as the team comes out on defense for Potosi to see if he's out there, and it doesn't look like he is. It's Dylan King and Chandler Franklin as the corners. Franklin on the far side, King on the near side. Blaine Riddle as the single deep safety for Potosi. Central trying to orchestrate another scoring drive. They've had an 85-yard scoring drive that took just one play in this quarter. There's the snap, and it's Harlow coming in motion, or rather Mannion, and Mannion's going to be bottled up in the backfield. We'll also see a flag come in. This is going to be a loss of about 3 yards. We'll also check the flag. See a couple times, Brett Mannion come in motion tonight. He's able to get a couple of carries in this ball game. We also have a update coming in from St. Genevieve High School. And that's from Greg Armbruster. And those updates come your way courtesy of Curtin Livestock in Fredericktown and St. Genevieve Care Center in St. Genevieve. So we'll get to that update as soon as we get a stoppage and play here. First, we're trying to figure out what the flag is. It was looking like it was going to be a hold or something to that effect against the Central Rebels as Manning came in motion and got that carry and lost 3 yards. Mannion 2 carries for 6 yards prior to that last one. Ball will be spotted back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And a first down and 20 to go. There's the snap and a fake handoff. It's Jake Bridges dropping back to pass. Throws it out to Brandon at Mayberry. Mayberry's got a convoy out in front of him. To the 40, to the 50, to the 40, 30. He's in fifth gear now. To the 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Central Rebels. It goes 82 yards and makes it 26-0 Central with 2:04 left to go. And Mayberry scores for the third time tonight.
I'm guessing Coach Schweiss had that play in his back pocket the whole time. That's just a well-designed play. 2 fakes in the backfield, a screen pass with 2 great blockers out in front, and off to the races he was.
2 minutes and 4 seconds on the clock in the third quarter, and Brandon Mayberry is having himself a breakout night tonight. He'll end up over 100 yards rushing, and that was an 82-yard reception, his first of the game. Now Bridges for the extra point to try to make it 27-0 with 2:04 left to go. After this, we'll get to that update from St. Genevieve High School. The kick is up. It's end over end, and it is good. 27-zip. Central Rebels have opened it up on Potosi tonight. 2:04 on the clock, third quarter. Let's go out to Greg Armbruster in St. Genevieve for the update.
You can make that 22 unanswered points for the St. Genevieve Dragons now. They have a 67-yard drive in the third quarter, capped off by a 12-yard touchdown run by number 47, Luke Gettinger. The extra point goes up and through, and St. Genevieve out front now 22-8 over the Fredericktown Black Cats with 4:47 to go in the third quarter.
Thank you very much, Greg. Those updates brought to you by Curtin Livestock in Fredericktown and St. Genevieve Care Center in St. Genevieve. It was Brandon Mayberry who scores again tonight, and he's had a 82-yard touchdown reception go his way. He's also had 2 rushing touchdowns. 3 of the 4 touchdowns to Brandon Mayberry, who was not an offensive starter last year. Backup offensive lineman, all-state defensive end. Fastest guy on the team, and he has showed it on a couple of big plays tonight. 1 for 85 and 1 for 82. Potosi back to return. It is Central to kick it off from the 40 from left to right. Here's the kick. It's a low spiral. Bounces and is picked up back at the 10 and then bobbled. Oh, his knee was on the turf when he picked it up. And that's where the Potosi Trojans will start. Portell, the return man, Jared Portell, makes the mistake and had his knee on the turf. So first and 10 from the 10, and it's gone from bad to worse for Potosi here, Garrett.
Yeah, not very good field position to start this drive. Got a lot of work ahead of him, but, Coach Casey's looking for his kids not to give up here and hopefully, drive the football and hopefully try to get some momentum going and get a touchdown, at least a score before this third quarter runs out.
We've seen Brandon Mayberry go for 85 and 82 yards and also 2 yards out. The other Central touchdown, a 21-yard pass from Bridges to Comfort. And now first and 10 from the 10 for the Park Hills, or for the Potosi Trojans. Potosi lines up in the pistol again. They send a man in motion, and the snap goes through the hands of Jordan Huerta. He picks it up in the end zone, and he's going to be brought down for a safety. And for Potosi, just fortunate there that they didn't give up another touchdown. It's going to make it 29-0, and we've seen a couple of bad snaps tonight. 3 as a matter of fact, but that time Potosi was the victim of it, and they're going to give the ball back to Central in a 29-0 ball game.
Yeah, when you have a bad snap, you hopefully want to have it in the middle of the field, but when you're down backed up against your own end zone, those can be costly, as you just seen, safety and giving the ball right back to Central.
Well, Potosi has had a good season so far, and they're going to end up having a good season, I do believe, but they are finding out tonight what it's like to compete against a top-notch top 10, top 5 team in the state of Missouri, and they haven't held up very well, but it'll be a good learning experience for them. And tell you what, I think if they play again this year, Potosi will be a little bit more prepared for it.
Yeah, and you got some young guys on the Potosi side of with Huerta being a junior, never started a varsity game until this year, but I give him credit and Potosi credit. It doesn't look like, with body language they've given up by any means, and these guys are going to be seeing each other for a long time.
29-0 is our score. Central leads, and they'll see a free kick from Potosi, and the Rebels are going to get the ball back one touchdown away from opening up the running clock in a matchup of 2 4-0 teams coming into this one. And one of them was ranked, and the other one, Potosi, was just outside the top 10 receiving votes. Other scores from around the area on 1400K, Jeff Festus with a 17-6 lead over Hillsboro. Sykeston leads Farmington 14-10 over on AM 800K REI. That's a fourth quarter score. And the high free kick is fielded by Braden Mannion at the 46-yard line. Then gets to the outside across midfield and to the 44 on the other side of the field. So Central starts in good field position. Also, St. Pius with a touchdown lead over Herky, that game's tied up, 14-14. Crystal City Jefferson still in a 14-12 game. That's in the fourth quarter. Valley Catholic 62-6 over Grandview in the fourth quarter. Duchesne over North County 17-6. Afton over Perryville 42-0 fourth quarter score. DeSoto has come back and taken a lead over Windsor 27-21 of DeSoto's homecoming tonight. Live for Life leads St. Vincent 6-0. Indians looking for that first win. That's a third quarter score. Fox leads Seckman 14-6. Oakville leads Northwest 34-6. Back to the game. 1:49 left to play third quarter. Central 29. Potosi nothing. Rebels to the line. Ball spotted is at the 44-yard line up Potosi. Not a perfect game for Central tonight. Some turnovers, a few penalties, not too many. But they've made up for it with some big plays offensively. Shotgun snap to Bridges. Bridges pump fakes left, then throws right. Hunter Strange gets the ball jarred out of his hands. Good job by the secondary coming up and driving that football out of there. And then he almost gets into a scrum with the Central sideline. It was Chandler Franklin making the defensive play. The official's going to come up and try to calm down the situation. Good play on the football. Good break there by Chandler.
Yeah, it was. Hit him right when the ball got to the receiver and made a good play on it and broke it up. And you like to see that impact happen right when the ball's there instead of before, which a lot of high schoolers make the mistake of doing.
Bridges has thrown for 147 yards tonight and a touchdown. A couple of touchdowns, as a matter of fact. So he has 10 touchdown passes on the season. Second down and 10 from the 44. Turns around, hands it off to Mayberry, and Mayberry gets the outside again and then lowers the shoulder and delivers a punishing blow and pushes the pile up to about the 36-yard line. A couple of yards short of the first down, but Mayberry not really shying away from contact.
The Central offense is starting to wear down the Trojan defense. You can tell a couple big runs for Mayberry and Bridges throwing the ball through the air. It's just a little too much for the Trojans defense.
Mayberry just broke 100 yards rushing with that play. 8 carries, 106 yards, 2 scores. Third down and 2 from the Potosi 36-yard line. I formation set again. It's Drew Harlow as the deep back. Oh, the fumbled snap again, and Central cannot get past these. This time Braden Mannion just could never come up with it, and Potosi's got it. Trojans get the turnover on defense thanks to another fumbled snap. Third turnover of the day by Central, and that's going to be something that Coach Schweiss and company is going to take a long, hard look at. They can't have that happen down the road in big-time situations. Luckily, this game is just about in hand.
No, and Coach Schweiss can't be happy about these turnovers, especially when it's as little as getting a snap from the center or a shotgun snap. And they're going to look at that probably on Monday mornings or Sunday during film, and I'm sure he's not happy about them right now.
Still, correct me if I'm wrong, no sign of Austin Cooley. Dylan King is wide left, and it's John Thompson wide right. Riddle is the back in the pistol behind Jordan Huerta. 54 seconds, third quarter. Potosi trails 29-0. A high pass to the right side, incomplete. Hunter Strange comes up and delivers a blow on an uncatchable pass, and no penalty there. Hard-nosed, relatively clean football play by Hunter Strange, incomplete. He probably could have... Actually, they did throw a flag.
Oh, did they?
He probably could have held up and not made that hit. But there is a flag on the far side, probably for unnecessary roughness against Central. And Central was committed to penalties tonight, more so than Potosi has. Potosi's only got the 2 penalties for 10 yards. But Central, if this is a 15-yarder, which I think it might be, it'll be their 5th for 55 yards. Personal foul, and it is on Central. That's on Hunter Strange.
That's a tough play, too, when you're in practice all week and coach tells you to play to the whistle. And, if he does pull up there and for some reason that Potosi guy does catch the ball, then he's getting his butt chewed on the sideline. So I kind of feel for him a little bit when you're trying to go 100% and, then the referee's throwing a flag on you to not hit a guy. It makes it tough.
Pistol snap to Huerta. Huerta hands off to Blaine Riddle, and Riddle finally has some room to run. He had to shake a tackle in the backfield, but gets across the 45 to the 44. It's a 6-yard carry for Blaine Riddle. And that, for Blaine, matches his best run of the night. His third carry went for 6 yards. That one goes for 6 yards, but just 31 rushing yards on 14 carries.
And down 29-0. Just under 30 seconds to go, but Blaine Riddle still running the football hard, and that's something I've said when I watched him in week 1. That kid runs the football hard no matter what the score, and it's good to see. And I'm sure Coach Casey loves a kid like that in the backfield.
Second down and a long 4 from the 45-yard line. 10 seconds on the clock in the third quarter. Potosi will hurry to the line here, and they might have to call a timeout or take a penalty. Looks like it's going to be a timeout, Potosi, because the play clock was down to 1 second by the time they got to the line. Just took too long. The game clock's at 4.7 seconds as Potosi calls their last timeout. So, Garrett, they had to call 3 timeouts that third quarter. They got a break right off the bat in the second half when Central fumbled that snap and set them up at the 30-yard line. Since then, they've had to burn 3 timeouts. They've had a safety go against them. And Potosi's actually not turned the ball over except for one time in this game on that interception. Yet here they are down 29-0.
Yeah, and it's just been a case of, bad field position, not getting anything going, having good field position and getting stuffed 4 and out. It's just been a little rocky road on the offensive end. A little not being able to get the running game going is a big thing, trying to go outside their element, if you will, trying to slow the ball a little bit. But, but for the most part, and especially in the first half, their defense held up for a while until it was just too much for the Central offense, as high-powered as they are. Eventually, they're going to get going on you. You just got to hope that you can try to match them on the scoreboard.
You're listening to high school football on KTJJ FM, Farmington, Festus, Crystal City, Park Hills, Potosi. 29-0 Central on top of Potosi. 4 seconds left to go third quarter. Trojans just used their last timeout to save a 5-yard penalty. Second down and 5 from the Central 45-yard line. Austin Cooley, all signs point that he's not going to return to this game. And if that's the case, his final stat line will be 2 catches for 15 yards and 0 carries, which I was very surprised about, for 0 yards. Credit Central's defense. Last play of the quarter. Shotgun snap goes to Huerta. Huerta has nobody downfield. He's going to be bottled up and sacked. Colin Best, the one who finishes him off, but the entire Central defensive line was there. And that sound is the end of the third quarter. 29-0 Central Rebels holding serve on their homecoming over Potosi. We're back in a minute with the fourth on J98.
Hey, sports fans, are you excited about the upcoming season? If you're looking for your favorite team and fan apparel, you need to visit us. Mark and Leslie Fishbeck, new owners at Make It Personal on Potosi Street in Farmington. We'll show you many different styles of shirts, teams, jerseys, jackets, hoodies, and sporting goods. Whether you need jerseys for your whole team or just one for yourself, Make It Personal can help bling out your favorite team logo. Talk about standing out in the crowd, you will with Make It Personal on Potosi Street in Farmington.
How would you like free pizzas on your birthday, on your wife's birthday, even your kid's birthday? It's easy. Join Cecil Whitaker's VIP Club and start earning points toward anything on their menu. It's fast and free, and the rewards are great. Free food and pizza, and not just any pizza, Cecil Whitaker's St. Louis-style thin crust pizza, now gluten-free. Call 636-465-0555. That's 465-0555. Compare the square and the price at Cecil Whitaker's at the Festus exit across from 7-Eleven.
Don't you think you're getting a little hog wild? We can't fit another brush hog on the lot. No more bat wings. Who you try to be now?
Now the Central Rebels are looking for their second straight shutout. Potosi, though, is going to convert on second down and 5 as Jordan Huerta finds a man middle of the field, left side, left middle. It was Waylon DeClue, it looked like, who went up and made the catch. However, there is a flag on the play, so we'll check that. But going back to Central and their defense, they went 28 quarters at one point last season, 28 straight without giving up a point. They're looking to shut out Potosi and make it 2 straight shutouts this season. Penalty on the Park Hill Central Rebels, so that play is going to hold up, and it's Waylon DeClue who goes up and makes the catch downfield. Moves the chains, first down. On second down and 5, he got to about the 33. About a 15-yard catch.
The Central coaches aren't happy about something here.
Well, it's another 15-yard penalty,
yeah.
And that's their actual fourth straight penalty that's gone 15 yards. They're up to 6 penalties now for 70 yards against them, and Potosi's inside the 20 now. First down and 10 at the 18. 11:48 left to play. Shotgun snap, Huerta. Huerta rolls to his right, throws on the run. The pass is nearly intercepted, and that would have been a touchdown the other way. He was looking for Thompson on the near side of the field. Hunter Strange, he's had a couple of balls go through his hands. A couple on offense and now one on defense, and nobody was going to catch him if he picks that off.
Right, and that's something the coach wants to see. That's got to be a pick six. And I'm sure he wants that one back. I know my freshman year I had one similar just like that, and I was playing on the varsity side, and coach pulled me right after that. After I missed that, he told me it had to be a pick six, and I feel for the kid.
Second down and 10 as Potosi marches left to right with 11:41 to play fourth quarter. Huerta drops back and throws a dart over the middle. This one might be intercepted. Braden Mannion went down there and got it, scooped it off the turf, and he picks it off.
Looks like they're going to call it in.
Did it hit the ground? Oh, man, it looked like he had it. But they were a lot closer than I was. Incomplete. Back-to-back plays where Central could have had a pick, but that would have been a heck of a play for Braden Mannion. I thought he did make a heck of a play.
From up here, it looked like he did.
Third down and 10. And Potosi huddles up with 11:36 now on the clock. 29-0 is the score. Potosi just trying to get in the end zone, get some kind of points. And regroup, one receiver right, one twins to the left. There's the shotgun snap to Jordan Huerta. Straight drop back, throws over the middle on a dump bomb. Oh, what a hit. Ground collision. Colin Best demolishes the play. Boom. What a hit by Colin Best. Ends up being a loss. And another flag. Could it be leading with the helmet on Colin? And then another flag comes in, the Central secondary, like they were saying something to the referee that the referee didn't like. But my goodness, what a hit, Colin Best. If you watch that on J98 Web TV, you're going to be sore tomorrow. Good night. There's another situation for Huerta where he's dropping back and running for his life and has to dump it off and really left his receiver out to dry, but he had no choice. It was either that or take a big sack. They called roughing the passer on Central. That was the initial penalty. And again, another 15-yarder against Central is going to give Potosi a first down. That's going to be 7 penalties for 85 yards. And 5 straight 15-yard penalties against Central. And when you dominate a game, you're always looking to improve on something. You always want to look at one side of something and see, okay, we need to get better in this regard. That'll be it this week. Too many penalties.
Yeah, penalties and silly turnovers that have kind of cost them yardage. And like you said, if you assume they're probably going to run straight through into districts, when you start playing a little tougher opponent, those things are going to come into play, and Coach Weiss is going to want to take care of those early.
First down and goal from the 5 after the 15-yard penalty, and we have a timeout. Coach Weiss, I believe, called the timeout just to talk to the official about some of the flags that have not gone his way. The penalty actually on that last play apparently wasn't on the hit by Colin Best, so that was clean and legal. The penalty came when Jordan Huerta was driven to the ground after he, passed downfield. I believe Brandon Mayberry was the one chasing him down. So you have your 2 all-state defensive ends really making an impact, one hitting the quarterback, the other one hitting the guy who caught the football. They just said, I guess it was a little bit late, or he finished a little bit too hard on Jordan Huerta.
I'm not really sure what the referee saw on that last play. I know there must have been some verbiage after the play to the referee that he didn't like. I understand that, but these kids are going 100% and not hitting guys in the head or extremely late. I just don't understand these kind of calls. But like you said too, the game of football has become a lot safer, so I can't complain too much.
So first and goal from the 5. 1 timeout left for Centrals. No timeouts left for the Potosi Trojans. And Potosi's going to line up twins to the left and 1 receiver to the right. John Thompson's the lone receiver to the near side. Jordan Huerta will again work from the pistol with Blaine Riddle as the back. On first and goal, takes the snap, hands it off to Riddle, and Riddle is going to push forward across the 5 to the 4-yard line. And a sarcastic cheer from the Central side of things saying, hey, way not to throw a flag on that play. No gain by Blaine Riddle. Second down and goal from the 5. Yeah. Central's offensive line is unable to get a push, and you're basically putting it all on Blaine to say, okay, get through about 4 or 5 tackles here and try to do something. And I don't care how good you are. That's tough to do.
Yeah, it's going to be real hard to do.
Twins left, one receiver right. It's Franklin and King out to the left. Thompson, lone receiver to the right. And now from a straight shotgun set, Huerta takes the snap, and another penalty comes in. This time, looks like it's going to go on Potosi. It is procedure penalty. Looks like a false start against the Trojans. And that's just their 3rd penalty they've committed for 15 yards. And flip the script on that for Central. 7 penalties for 85 yards tonight, yet they hold a 29-0 lead. If Central plays a perfect game one of these days, look out,
Yeah, and especially with the defense as good as it is, holding opponents to 46 points all year. That's very impressive. And like you said, if they have a perfect game, it could be a blowout every single time.
Second down and goal from the 10 on the pump fake. Huerta lost the handle and then gets drilled by Colin Best for another crown collision and a big sack. 3rd down and forever with 10:13 on the clock.
And big 75 Colin Best has been everywhere tonight, hadn't he? Just wherever the ball goes, you can look for 75, and he's there making a play at some point.
It looks like they're shooting him out of a cannon.
Yeah.
My goodness. Huerta, once he tried to throw that pump fake in the air and then lost the ball, it bounced right back into his hands. But when he got it, he also got drilled by Colin Best back at the 20, 21. So 3rd down and goal officially from the 20-yard line. 9:45 left. Potosi was 5 yards away from scoring. Now they're 20 yards away. Straight drop back and a pass left sideline. Ball is tipped and incomplete. Almost intercepted. 4th down and goal from the 20. Good job by the corner getting over there late and knocking that one away. He was originally beaten over there. It was Tristan Pyatt, but then got back there and knocked it away. So on 4th and goal from the 20, what's Potosi want to do?
They're trying to get some points on the board.
Looks like it. Looks like the field goal kicker is going to come out for Potosi. And that field goal kicker is John Thompson, number 88. That ball will be kicked from the 27-yard line, it looks like, 28-yard line. So a 38-yard field goal on the way from John Thompson. There's the snap, there's the kick. He'll swing the right leg, and the kick has the distance, but it is up and good. John Thompson, 38-yard field goal. No shutout tonight for the Central Rebels. Makes it 29-3. Pretty good leg by John Thompson. 9:30 left to play, 4th quarter. We'll break for a minute. High school football on G98.
It's the end of the summer factory-authorized clearance sale going on now at Midwest Sports Center in Farmington. Save on great brands like Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, Can-Am, and Toro Motors. All 2014 inventory must go. Get rebates up to $4,000 and financing as low as 0%, plus huge discounts on parts and accessories. It's the end of the summer factory-authorized clearance sale going on now at Midwest Sports Center, Highway 67, Farmington. On the road, off the road, and on the water, the ultimate outdoor toy store has it.
Hi, this is Tom Conway with Sunset Hills Golf Course and Quail Creek Golf Course in South County. We are proud to have John Kelly on our staff. John is a Golf Digest Top 100 club fitter and will help you play like a pro. A professional club fitter is every bit as important as your golf instructor. For more information, go to jkellygolf.com and see for yourself what a new fitting can do. Check us out online or use the Golf Now app on your smartphone. The best just got better.
John Thompson puts Potosi on the board with a 38-yard field goal, makes it 29-3. Central still leading and in control of this ball game. The short kick is fielded by Hunter Strange. He's going the wrong way. He fielded it at the 30, moves back to the 20-yard line, then gets up to the 25 to the 26. Ends up being a 4-yard loss on the return, and another flag flies. This game's getting chippy as it goes down into the final minutes of this 4th quarter. Late flag comes in after the tackle had already been made.
There's a flag on the play.
Let's thank a few sponsors while we have time. St. Francis Dental Center in Leadington, No Limits Shirts and Signs in Park Hills, the Shirt Shop in Potosi, Washington County Aggregates, Realty Professionals of Potosi, and Potosi Chiropractic. Also, Potosi. Did they make a call while I was reading sponsors again?
Not yet, no. I think they're Coach Weiss was having a conversation with the sideline referee here.
El Central leads 29-3 in our ball game. The scoreboard at MIMOinfo.com will need to be updated. It's incorrect right now. Those guys will get it fixed, though. Central 29, Potosi 3. The field goal went to Potosi. So they'll get that fixed right now at MIMOinfo.com. That sound you heard means we have another update ready to go from the update game of the week in St. Genevieve, and we'll get to that as soon as we can. Looks like the penalty, again, is going to be on the Park Hills Central Rebels. This has been a penalty-riddled fourth quarter for them and really a penalty-riddled second half for them. It's another 15-yarder that backs them up all the way inside their own 15-yard line.
And usually you see the team that's getting beat like this commit most of the penalties, but right now Central kind of losing their heads just a little bit.
Well, there's the snap, and Jake Bridges hands off Drew Harlow, just carrying guys. Oh, he's trucking now to the 40. Gets back to the outside. Stiff arms to the 50. Carrying a man across the 40, and is eventually brought down at the 35-yard line. What a run by Drew Harlow. Like a runaway freight train right there.
Another flag.
Is it coming back? That's the question. 100 penalty yards against the Central Rebels tonight. And that run, 37, 47, 52, about 54 yards there from Drew Harlow. May or may not hold up. We'll see. Drew had a bunch of carries, or a handful of carries in the first half for 15 yards. Hadn't been used a whole lot in half number 2, but 52-yard breakaway right there. It's like the train just got off the tracks and was heading through the trees. Let's get the call. Clock stopped at 9:06 left to go. Looks like the penalty is going to be against Potosi. The official's asking Coach Schweiss if he wants to accept or decline. So it looks like that 52-yard run by Drew Harlow is going to hold up.
So offsetting penalties, it looked like.
The ball still spotted at the 35.
Yep.
Was it offsetting penalties after the play?
Yeah, I think it was offsetting penalties after the play. And like you said, I think this game's getting a little chippy with these guys out here. It's an opportunity for the coaches to kind of get into some of their players and tell them to keep their head and don't do anything stupid.
Harlow, 6 carries, 67 yards after that rumble. And Central goes back to work, 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line of Potosi. I formation set. Bridges drops straight back, steps up in the pocket, throws the spiral out to the right side. It's Hunter Strange who goes up far sideline and out-wrestles his defender for the ball inside the 10, down to the 6.
That's a well-thrown ball on the far sideline, putting it up to where his receiver only could catch it, and Strange doing the rest, pulling it down, keeping the feet in bounds. A good game for the Central Rebels there.
29-yard reception from Bridges to Strange, and Strange had been struggling holding on to the football tonight. That was a great possession and grab there in traffic. First down and goal, they'll officially call it the 7-yard line as Central brings Drew Harlow and Logan Comfort into the backfield. Harlow's the deep back, Comfort the fullback. Strange, the receiver out right, Mannion, the receiver out left with single coverage. Handoff to Drew Harlow, and Harlow muscles up the middle and pushes forward. Touchdown. 7-yard rumble again. Drew Harlow, 35-3. Central, 8:48 to go in the game.
This is kind of a spitting image of what me and you talked about before the game. I asked you about Drew Harlow running the football, and you said, they throw a lot of Mayberry at you for about 3 quarters, and then in the fourth, it's big Drew Harlow, and it's two different kind of runners. Mayberry with the speed, and Harlow was going to smash mouth right up the middle, and as you can tell, it's working here.
Drew Harlow is your Mariano Rivera. I know you like those baseball references. He's your closer. That was touchdown number 5 rushing for Drew on the season. The kick on the extra point's up and good from Jake Bridges. And Drew had a couple of big plays on that drive. 52-yard and then a 7-yard touchdown run. 36-3 is our score. 8:48 left to go fourth quarter. We're back in 1 minute on J98.
No tap dancing, no shouting. Just the #1 hot tub in the world. Hot Spring Spas bring elegance, function, and beauty to your backyard. With the help from BMW Design Works, the new NXT series offers the most comfortable seating possible. When the day has worn you to a frazzle, or the new exercise regimen left you with sore muscles, it's time to settle back and relax in a Hot Spring Spa from Plaza Pool and Spas. Just take the Fairgrounds exit.
Hi, Hi, guys, this is Rick Day with the Cowtown USA Q, Missouri. Hurry, what are you doing now? Put your shoes back on.
1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4. Maverick Outlander Commanders going out the door. Huggy rebates.
That's huge rebates.
I just read what you write.
Hurry, put your clothes back on.
The rebates are getting bigger. I need all the digits I can get.
Rebates up to $2,000 on Can-Am side-by-sides, $1,000 on Can-Am ATVs, and up to 5-year warranties. Cowtown USA in Cuba, Missouri.
There's a kickoff, and it is fielded and brought back to the 22-yard line for Potosi. It was Jake Coleman on the return. He brought it about 17 yards, and it's Potosi taking over 36-3 with 8 minutes and 42 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter, 20 minutes past 9 o'clock tonight. So it was a game that was billed to be one of the best in the area tonight, but the Central Rebels have come out and decided not to make this a close game. They've shown why they're one of the top teams around.
Yeah, and you know, as good as their offense are, and you see that, you know, the flashy plays or what have you, with Bridges throwing the ball around, and you know, 2 powerful running backs. I think their defense is what makes them go. That defensive line is something to be reckoned with, and you know, Colin Best is a big reason why.
First down and 10 from the 22-yard line. Potosi looks like they're going to come under center with the quarterback, Jordan Huerta. Play action pass. Huerta rolls to the near side. Pump fakes. Then he's looking to go deep on the other side of the field. Dangerous throw. Riddle has to come back to the ball, and it's knocked away by Harlow. I'm not sure I like that. Jordan Huerta rolled out near side and then just threw a duck to the far side of the field and hoped Riddle would make a play for him, but Harlow almost intercepted it.
Yeah, and you know, that's even in the NFL, you'll hear him say that's one of the hardest throws, is back across the field. But you know, give Coach Casey credit. You know, he's trying to do whatever he can and find any play in that playbook to at least get down the field.
Well, we still need to get to an update from St. Genevieve High School with 8 minutes and 33 seconds left in our ball game. We'll get to that very shortly as Jordan Huerta under center again with Blaine Riddle as the back in the backfield. 2 receivers out to the right. Huerta takes the snap and turns around, and they'll run an in around. The ball is bobbled and dropped, and Potosi's able to fall on it. Late flag comes in. And Potosi falls on it back at the 15-yard line for a loss of 7. We'll check the flag. While they get that sorted out, why don't we go ahead and get to that update right now while we have a little bit of time. Let's go out to Greg Armbruster from St. Genevieve.
The St. Genevieve Dragons continue to add to their lead. Another touchdown. 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go in this contest, and St. Genevieve now leads 35-8. It was a 7-play drive for 55 yards, capped off by a 39-yard touchdown catch to Drew Schmelsley, his second touchdown catch of the afternoon, and the third passing touchdown by Wyatt Lalamandir. And St. Genevieve is in control as we just go inside 6 minutes to play, and St. Gen's set to kick off. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Those updates brought to you by Cureton Livestock in Fredericktown and St. Genevieve Care Center in St. Genevieve. Understand the KREI listeners are about to join us in that Farmington-Sikeston game. That last check was the fourth quarter, Sikeston 14, Farmington 10. The penalty was on Potosi, so it was declined. So Central took the lost yardage on the fumble on the exchange. Here's a pass out to the left side from Huerta, looking for Dylan King, and the pass is incomplete. We have 8 minutes and 2 seconds left in our game, 36-3 Central. 3 straight incompletions from Jordan Huerta. He struggled to get anything going tonight. Now a 4th down and 16. Likely going to see a Potosi punt. Farmington had battled back in that game against Sikeston, but it went final 14-13. Farmington got a late field goal, unable to come all the way back. So Sikeston winners again this year over the Farmington Knights in a very close game in Farmington tonight on AM 800 KREI. What a game that must have been. Looks like St. Pius over Herculaneum. That's a final 28-20 tonight. Jefferson and Crystal City looks like that's a 14-14 tie in the fourth quarter. Valley Catholic wins on homecoming tonight, 63-6. And Garrett, what I missed when I was reading scores?
Just a short punt here. Looks like it's going to be Central ball around the 35.
Not fielded by anybody. Was it let go?
Yeah, let go.
And just inside the 35-yard line. That's where Central takes over. See if we see the backups yet. Doesn't look like it. Jake Bridges leads his team back out on the field. Brandon Mayberry is the back. Logan Comfort's in there still. Braden Mannion. Hunter Strange. 7:53 on the clock. Let's get some more scores to you. The KJEF game of the week tonight, getting a little bit closer. Festus on top of Hillsboro 31-20. That's in the fourth quarter. Also, Duchenne and North County. Duchenne leads 31-14. Afton over Perryville 42-0. That's a fourth quarter score. Windsor's taking the lead again over DeSoto 42-33. Fourth quarter score. From the 34, Bridges takes the snap, hands off. This goes to Brandon Mayberry. Started up the middle, bounced to the outside, and got close to the 30. That'll be about a 3-yard carry for Brandon. Well, we'll have to start thinking pretty soon, although we still have 7+ minutes left, 7.5. But pretty soon we'll have to start thinking about players of the game. And Colin Best has had a huge night tonight defensively. Offensively, Brandon Mayberry's had a really big night. Which of those two would you maybe give it to?
I'm thinking Colin Best and not only, has he been a force on the offensive end, but this block I seen out here in the first half is sticking in my head, so I'm going with him.
On the Comfort touchdown. And speaking of Comfort, he gets the carry and gets it inside the 30 down to the 27. That's a 3-yard carry for Logan Comfort. Decent stat line for Logan. 4 carries for 10 yards tonight. Also had that catch that went for 21 yards for a touchdown. So he has 2 catches for 25 yards on the season. And that was his first receiving touchdown of the season. He does have 1 rushing touchdown of the year, so second total touchdown for Logan Comfort. 3rd down and 3 from the 27. This will be the 4th straight year that Central beats Potosi. And again, they hold them under 6 points. Potosi hasn't scored more than 6 against Central in any of the last 4 games that they've met up. Logan Comfort gets the carry and had some blocks and gets the ball across the 25 down around the 21-22. About a 5-yard carry, and it'll move the chains for a first down for Logan.
And Central just trying to keep this ball on the ground here. Run some time off the clock. Maybe punch it in here for a touchdown and probably get the backups in there to get a little varsity PT.
Fox wins the C6 rivalry over Seckman 21-12 tonight. Oakville scored 48 unanswered against Northwest, 48-6 the final there. Live for Life still leads St. Vincent 6-0 in the fourth quarter. And Perryville's put up 16 points against Afton, but not enough to come back. They lost tonight 49-16. Perryville's now lost 3 straight. I formation and a handoff goes to the deep back, and he pushes it across to the 20-yard line.
27.
New running back in the game is 27. The Park Hills Central Rebels, it's a JV number not listed on the roster. See if Harvey Faircloth, the voice of the Park Hills Central Rebels, announces that name. If not, it'll be a mystery man.
I heard a Corey. That's all I heard.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Ball at the 25, 37 on the clock. So Corey is still in the game. He's the deep back. 34 is the fullback, Keenan Johnson. 1 receiver right, 1 receiver left. There's the snap, and they will hand it off to Corey again. But this time he's bottled up in the backfield. Is that 51 for Potosi that makes a tackle, or 61? 51 would be Brand. 61 would be OSHA.
Yeah. Looks like DeClue's in on that tackle as well.
Whalen. He's a great defensive end. 3rd down and long. A couple of new players taking the ball game for the Park Hills Central Rebels. Number 4, Zachary McFadden is in the game, 5'8", 124-pounder. 23 and 34 in the backfield. 23 is Nick Haney, and again 34 is Keenan Johnson. And an I formation set and 3rd down and 11 with under 5 minutes to go in this game. There's the snap and the handoff. They go to Haney. Haney lowers the shoulder and gets back to about the 20 or so, 22, 21, somewhere in there. Pick up just about 2 yards for Haney.
In times like these, some of these ball games you see where the JV guys or backups are starting to get some PT. It's good for the coaches to see what they're going to have for years to come, and who wants to come in here and make an impact, even though the score might be lopsided. Coaches still want to see some heart from the backups as well.
Jake Bridges has remained in the game as the quarterback. He's run to the sideline, got into play, and then run it back into his team. Coaches up the younger kids that have checked into the backfield with him. Again, they are Haney and Johnson in the backfield. In the I formation, Bridges is going to call timeout with 4 minutes on the clock and a 36-3 Park Hills Central lead. This one's been decided for a while, pretty much since Central fumbled on that opening possession of the second half and gave the ball back to Potosi. Potosi couldn't punch it in, turned it over on downs, and then Central scored on the very next play. From that point on, although it wasn't over yet, it seemed like the writing was on the wall in this game.
Yeah, and, like we said, right after halftime, a 12-0 ball game for Central. They get the ball back after halftime. a huge, costly turnover, gives the ball to Potosi with a short field to work with, and they can't capitalize on that short field. And, that kind of turned the ball game around, because right then and there, after that possession, Central went on to score, and a 3-touchdown lead with a whole half left to play, and kind of sealed the deal for the Central Rebels.
Want to officially welcome in our KREI listeners tonight, those of you who listened to Sykeston defeat Farmington over on AM 800. Final score was 14-13. You're in the J98 game of the week now, and this one's been all Central tonight. 36-3 Rebels over the Trojans. 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And Jake Bridges comes under center for his team in the I formation, and we see another flag come out on 4th down and 10. The Rebels were going for it, but a little hard cadence might have gotten Potosi to jump across. And Potosi does step into the neutral zone with an infraction there, and that for Potosi is just their 4th penalty of the night for 20 yards. Central heavily penalized in this game, over 100 yards of penalties against them. They've also lost the turnover battle, and they lead 36-3 over a very good Potosi team. Get that cleaned up, and maybe Central has a few more scores in this ball game. One receiver right and one receiver left. It's Haney and Johnson in the I formation in the backfield. There's the snap, handoff to Haney. Haney is tripped up and spins off a tackle. Good piece of running there on 4th down and 5. It's not going to be enough for a first down, but good effort play by Haney, who's a youngster, and turnover on downs gives it back to Potosi inside their 20-yard line. Couple of carries for Haney in a backup role, about 5 yards tonight. Under 4 minutes to go. Clock stops for the change of possession. See if we can get any more final scores. Again, all these scores can be found at MIMOinfo.com. Looks like the J98 update game went final. 35 unanswered points for the St. Genevieve Dragons. They defeat Fredericktown 35-8. Fredericktown's now 1-4. St. Genevieve gets back above 500 at 3-2. St. Pius with a big win, 28-20 over Herculaneum. That one on the road tonight for Pius. So they've won a few straight now. I believe 3 straight. Jefferson over Crystal City 21-14. That's a fourth quarter score. Again, Valley won on homecoming tonight, 63-6 over Grandview. Perryville fell to the 8th-ranked Afton Cougars, 49-16. Potosi with 3:53 left to go here on J98 and J98 Web TV goes back to work, and they've got some of the backups in, and a youngster gets a carry to the right side and picks up first down yardage across the 30-yard line. Number 10 on the carry for Potosi, Jared Portell. We saw him snake a touchdown from Blaine Riddle earlier this season, and I think he's going to be a good runner for Potosi.
Yeah, and that week one was a lot of Blaine Riddle running the football, but Portell does a nice job, blowing the shoulder pads, getting around the end, and kid's got some speed.
In fact, and I know it's against the Central backups, but Portell has the longest run for Potosi tonight of 12 yards. First down and 10 from the 30. That's how good the Central defense has been tonight. They're a 38-yard field goal away from a shutout. Handoff goes to Portell, left side of the formation. He gets across the 30 to the 33. 3-yard pickup for Jared. 2 carries, 15 yards. Jordan Huerta still in the game at quarterback for Potosi. Number 11. Both teams have kept their junior quarterback in there, and looks like we'll see both of them kind of close this one out. I don't know if Bridges will get back out on the field if Central gets another possession, but it looks like Huerta is going to remain in the game for the Potosi Trojans. He's going to step under center in an I formation set. Single eye behind him. Portell dots it in the backfield. Straight drop back for Jordan Huerta. He throws out the left side, or rather the right side, and good job coming back to the ball, making the catches. Chandler Franklin gets across the 40 and moves the chains to the 41-yard line. That's an 8-yard grab by Chandler.
And I like the idea of keeping Huerta in the ball game. The more snaps he can get, and the more playing time he can get, the better off he's going to be.
First down and 10. Ball at the 41-yard line of Potosi. This drive started inside the 20, about the 18-yard line. Under 3 minutes to play, Potosi's trying to get in the end zone as this game starts to tick toward an end. Get you as many names of the backups that are in there for the Central Rebels as we can. Keenan Johnson is lined up as a defensive end. He's going to get a free rush around the left edge, but the handoff went to the other side of the field, and Jared Portell gets the carry and picks up a good chunk of about 6 to 7. 22 yards on 3 carries tonight for Jared Portell. 77 in the ball game for Park Hills Central. Defensive tackle, Kajay Rice. Number 31 at linebacker is Ethan Branch. Number 4 back there as a safety, Zachary McFadden. And number 3, Brandon Caldwell. And at linebacker, number 72 was in briefly, but he runs off. That was Austin Gross. There's a snap, and the play comes to the near side of the field, but bottled up, nowhere to go. 29, Tristan Campbell makes a stop for the Park Hills Central Rebels, and it'll be 3rd down and short for Potosi with 1:55 left to go. So officially, are we going Colin Best, player of this game?
I like that call, yeah.
3 touchdowns tonight for Brandon Mayberry. It's hard to take it away from him, but this game was won on the defensive side of the ball tonight for the Central Rebels, and Colin Best led the charge. I agree. He had a few sacks in this game, some big plays, some monster hits. I'll give it to Colin, but big ups to Brandon Mayberry tonight as well. And just so happens he's the other defensive end who played pretty well defensively tonight. 3rd down and short. They'll throw deep down the left sideline. The pass is bobbled and dropped right around the 20 on the far side. Incomplete. And 4th down.
That was a good effort by the Potosi wide receiver there. Almost made a spectacular play after it got tipped.
The little guy on the far side of the field. I believe it was Dylan King. Yeah, Dylan King's gotten a lot of playing time tonight. Unfortunately, unable to haul that one in. 63 yards passing tonight for Jordan Huerta. No touchdowns. In fact, Potosi hasn't gotten in the end zone at all. It's the first time all season that they will have not gotten in the end zone if they can't score in the final 1 minute, 25 seconds. 1 receiver left and 1 receiver right. Huerta under center, takes the snap, hands off to Portell, and Portell gets undercut right at the 48-yard line. Good tackle by Central's. I want to say that was Keenan Johnson. Yes, it was 34. Keenan Johnson doing a great job as a defensive end backup role. Seems like they just breed defensive ends. That was enough to get a turnover on downs. He needed 4 and only picked up 2 to 3 yards. Portell will end his night most likely with 4 carries for 25 in a mop-up situation. 1:17 left to go as Central takes the field. Special thanks to Evan Thurman back at the station for keeping us on the air tonight, running the ball game. Greg Armbruster for doing the updates from St. Genevieve, brought to you by Curtin Livestock and Fredericktown and St. Genevieve Care Center in St. Genevieve. Jack Sadler ran the camera tonight on J98 Web TV at MyMoInfo.com. Of course, Garrett Wiggins provided the color commentary tonight. He's the Mineral Area College assistant baseball coach. What's next for Mineral Area?
Got a big test tomorrow up in St. Louis, playing the fall exhibition games against Swick and Rend Lake.
Under center is the Central backup quarterback, so Jake Bridges will not play every single snap in this ball game. 22 checks in the game for Central. That's Matt Richardson. He's a 5'11" backup QB. He can also play linebacker, and he is a sophomore. Another flag, though. And Central's backing up. Probably going to be a false start against the Rebs. One thing to work on. Wasn't a perfect game for the Central Rebels. I'll say 2 things to work on. 9 penalties, 105 yards. That's not very good. 1st and 15. Richardson takes the snap and hands off. This goes to Haney, and Haney is met after a pickup of about 1. So what I would work on is the exchange from center to quarterback, especially on the shotgun snaps for sure. Jake Bridges had a couple of those go way over his head that he had to tip to himself. He lost one of them. The other one, cooler heads must prevail. Too many 15-yard penalties tonight. We had a string of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight penalties that went for 15 yards against the Central Rebels. Coach Weiss can't like that.
No, and the good thing about that is those are easy fixes. It's not an X's and O's kind of thing where it might take a week. One good talking to, and those should be fixed.
Handoff right side, not much on the carry, and we're down to our final 36 seconds of this game. All that being said, Central dominates this game, and they'll move to 5-0 with a 36-3 romp over Potosi Trojans. Potosi not quite back to the drawing board because they're still a good team, and they're going to play some good football, and there's a good chance these 2 teams will meet up again in the district championship game or somewhere in the district playoffs. But certainly a measuring stick for them. Now they know they've been graded against one of the best teams. Now they know where they need to go. There's a snap and a fumbled handoff, and it looks like Central's going to maybe turn the ball over for the 4th time with 9 seconds left to go. Potosi has fallen on it. It does end up being the 4th turnover for Central, although that one with the JV squad in, the backups in. Potosi takes over with 9 seconds on the clock, and who knows, maybe the Trojans can get in the end zone against the Central backup defense.
Yeah, 9 seconds, plenty of time to get it in there.
They've had trouble all night, though, and they've been set up a few times with some golden opportunities, especially right there in the 3rd quarter at the start of it when Bridges had fumbled that snap that went way over his head. Potosi started at the 30, couldn't get it in. There's been a couple of other opportunities, too, but Central's defense too stout tonight. Central's defense has only given up the 46 points coming into tonight. It'll end up being 49 after tonight, if Potosi can't get in the end zone here. Quarterback comes under center for Potosi. Let's see if he's dropping back to pass or if he's handing off to end this ball game. He will hand it off. Fortell runs across the 45 for a pickup of 2 to 3 yards. The quarterback in there for Potosi was number 5, Zach Price, and that's going to be the end of this ball game. 36-3 is the final score in the J98 game of the week. That was also on J98 Web TV at MIMOinfo.com.